In the Duhe continent, strength is very important. Those who fight using battle spirits are called spirit warriors. They're the strongest and most powerful people in the Duhe continent. The fighting spirits are divided into 9 levels based on their strength. Before advancing to each level, many years of preparation and soul strength accumulation are required. If a person doesn't awaken their fighting spirit before the age of 12, they won't have a chance to do so later. The head of the Luo Xiaotian family shouted at the boy that he was trash. He should kneel when talking to the head. Luo Chun, the young master of the Luo family, stood next to the head of the family. Yi Chongling, the eldest son of the Yi family, asked, "Why did the Luo family give birth to such a person? Could their marriage contract have been a mistake?" Meanwhile, Yi Ryu had already awakened a 5th-level fighting spirit. The Wushu Academy, the first academy in Tiandu, has already recognized this. The academy is also against this contract. Lu Sheng, the headmaster's youngest son, said that this Luo Chun was about to turn 12 years old, and he still hadn't been able to awaken his fighting spirit. Everyone in their county knew that he was simply useless. Lu Sheng said that he would be honest with the headmaster. He came from the Wushu Academy, and they saw that Yi Ryu had talent. She was not as good as Luo Chun. Lu Sheng knew that this marriage contract, which was supposed to be a sign of his talent, should not be a stain on Yi Ryu's reputation. He hoped that the head of the Luo family would be sensible and see the big picture. The leader heard that the Yi family had to come here in person. Although the leader of the Luo family is strong, he would not dare to provoke their academy and the Yi family. The headman agreed, saying that they shouldn't worry about the marriage contract since that's what they wanted. They could simply terminate it. Chang Lao told Lord Luo that he seemed to have misunderstood them. He would tell him directly that they were hoping their family would break the contract. After all, young Master Luo is useless now, and they should understand for themselves that he is not worthy of Yi Ryu. Then the boy raised his head a little, and Lord Luo used force. He called him an idiot and asked to allow him to rise. The boy was in pain and screamed at his father. The Lord told him not to call him father anymore. He was just an adopted child that he didn't even want to have. He thought the boy would be useful to him when he took him. The boy was angry and asked his father what he said. The Lord said that his Luo family was not a dumping ground for people like him. From that day on, the boy was no longer part of their family. He said that the Lord threw away their relationship as father and son and was driving him out of the family just to save his own face and reputation. The Lord said that the Duhe continent has always been a place where the weak get eaten by the strong. The boy is to blame for his own weakness. The guard told his partner that he didn't know that Luo Chan was actually the Lord's adopted son. The second guard said that it was no wonder the Lord was so evil. The Luo family had spent so much time and effort, and in the end, he was just trash. The Lord asked the Yi family if he was satisfied now. There was no one named Luo Chun left in their family, and no one was talking about a marriage. A girl from a Ye Ryu family came to Chun and asked if he was okay. She gave him a spiritual pill that would help him heal. Chun didn't feel any regret and threw the pill box aside, waving his hand at him. Chun grabbed his hand and said that Sister Ryu was kind and wanted to help him, but he rejected her help. Chun asked Chun, "What do you think? Should he accept this humbly, bow to them, and say thank you?" Chun pulled his hand away and said that one day she would regret what happened today. Sheng said that this man is truly just a horrible person. He can't even accept a kind gesture. But then Sheng thought about it, because he felt that Chun had great spiritual power hidden within him, and he became interested. Chun began cultivating at home and thought that his father was abandoning him to maintain his own reputation. Then he remembered his father's words, that he should only blame himself for his own weakness. Chun refused to accept this. It was raining heavily, the clouds were gathering, and the lightning was flashing more and more. While Chun was saying that his spiritual power was growing, it was a sign that he was awakening. But if he didn't restrain her, she might not only not wake up, but also explode. But he kept thinking about what his father had said. The man had called him trash. Since he had lost the respect of the Luo family, he should leave. His father said that anyone who couldn't awaken their fighting spirit was no use to their family. They might as well just die. Chun said he'd rather die than accept that. Chun raised his hands up in protest. "My name is Luo Chun." Suddenly, lightning struck the roof of the house, heading straight for Chun, and he lost consciousness. Chun was surprised and thought, could it be his fighting spirit? It finally broke through. Chun said it was ironic that he had to lose everything and risk his life to awaken his fighting spirit. The two brothers returned home. When the boy opened the door, he was surprised by what he saw. The boy shouted to the third brother that someone was lying in their shelter. The third brother rushed in and asked, "Who is so brave? And who dares to take over his and his brother's place?" The boy asked his brother if the man was really dead. Then he started crying because he was scared. His brother hit him on the back of the head and told him not to jump to conclusions. The third brother went to Chun and checked his pulse. He found that he was still breathing. However, he had severe injuries that an ordinary person could not survive. The third brother asked if he was a spiritual warrior. The boy asked how that was possible. He looked about their age. If he really was a spiritual warrior, his family should protect him. But he was badly wounded. The third brother said he would go to the pharmacy and try to buy some healing medicine. Xiao Wu told his brother that they had worked so hard that day for just 2 copper coins, and they didn't even have anything to eat. The older brother told the younger that there was nothing wrong with that. Saving a life was much more important. Chun regained his senses and saw human forms in front of him. Xiao told his brother that he would go with him. On this beautiful evening, Xiao and the elder brother stood over Chun. Xiao said that it looked like their medicine was starting to work, and he asked when Chun would wake up. The older brother said that this guy was badly hurt and was very lucky to survive. The green light of the sun fell directly on the roof of the house where Chun was. The elder brother noticed something strange and didn't understand what was happening. Suddenly, green rays engulfed Chun completely. The light lifted Chun up to the sky and held him in the air. Chun woke up and asked, "Is this really his sea of consciousness?" Then he decided to test his intuition and thought, "Could this be my fighting spirit?" He knew that there were 4 types of martial spirits on the Duhi continent: beast, weapon, plant, and mystical. The first 3 types of fighting spirit are the most common, but the mystical spirit is extremely rare. Only 1 in a million people have this fighting spirit. Chun said that his martial spirit awakens like a beast's, but it looks like a plant. However, is a plant martial spirit? Chun thought for a long time and could not understand what type of fighting spirit he had. After examining his body, he noticed that his wounds were healing more quickly. Could this be because of his fighting spirit? He directed this fighting spirit from his hand to his mouth and began to absorb it. Then a green light spread throughout his body. Chun opened his eyes and was surprised to realize he didn't know where he was. The elder asked him who he was and asked the boys if they had saved him. Xiao said that his older brother got him medicine, and that if it weren't for him, the boy would have died already. The older man gave Chun some food and told him not to talk too much because he had just woken up. Chun immediately thought that his own family was ready to kill him, and these 2 beggars were giving their last to help him. The older brother told him to stay there and take care of his wounds, and said that he and his brother would try to find better food the next day. Xiao asked his brother, "Do you want to go there again? They will kill us if they catch us." The elder asked Xiao if he was scared. The elder told Xiao not to be afraid, explaining that this time they would go to another place where there were many barrels of water and bread. Xiao said it was still too dangerous. The elder said he had decided it was Luo Hong's estate. He's sure that if he asks, they'll give them some food. If he has decided, he cannot be stopped. After a couple of hours, Chun was resting and getting his strength back when he suddenly heard Xiao telling his brother to hold on. Chun put it back where he had found it. He opened his shirt and was surprised. He asked who had hit him so hard. Xiao said that they went to the Luo estate and begged for some food, but they were beaten, and the third brother took it all on himself. Chun, hearing about Luo, realized that they were the ones who did this to him. Chun used his powers to heal the boy's wounds. Chun remembered that when he had forcibly awakened his fighting spirit, his wounds had worsened. He had healed himself after swallowing his fighting spirit, so maybe he could heal others' wounds too. Maybe his fighting spirit is a healing type. After all, spiritual doctors are a special kind of spiritual warriors, equal to weapons in their fighting spirit. Some say that the most powerful spiritual doctors can even revive the dead. They are extremely rare on the Duhi continent, so they are highly prized. Chun told Xiao not to worry. His brother had no internal injuries. His bones were split, and there were many bruises. Xiao asked Chun if he was a spiritual doctor. Chun said not really. His martial spirit could only heal his external injuries, but he is unable to restore his bones. To heal him completely, he will need a bone restoration pill. Xiao imagined what kind of pill that might be. Xiao said that he heard that one of these costs several hundred gold coins. They can't buy it. Is his brother really going to die? Chen looked at both brothers and stood up abruptly and said that this happened because they wanted to help him. Now, it was his turn to help them. At the table in Qin Feng Pavilion, the young master of the Wu family, Wu Yun, gathered all his brothers from different families. Wu told brother Luo and Mu that he didn't expect them to visit him together today. What was the reason for their visit? The grandson of the second elder of the Luo family, Kuan, said to brother Wu. Has he heard of Ryu from the Yi family? It is said that she is very talented and was able to awaken a 5th-level fighting spirit at such a young age. Young Master Mu Lu said that even the Wushu Academy had noticed her talent and had already taken her in. There will be no room for their families in Wulin County. Wu thought that it seemed like the Mu and Lu families wanted to team up with him and deal with the Yi family. The girl came up and said that she wanted to remind them that her Wu family was only engaged in business and did not get involved in the squabbles between the two families. Yin received the information from the girl and was very surprised. He stood up indignantly and headed for the exit. Yin went outside and saw Luo Chun. He asked him how he could survive, because they thought Chun had already died. Chun told Wu Yun that he wanted to ask him for a few things. Yin said that since Chun needed something, could he use the magic word, please? Chun said that he wanted Yin to give him a book on martial spirits written by his Wu family, and also a bone restoration pill. Yin said that the martial spirit book from his Wu family was one of the best books in the area, and the bone restoration pill was a very valuable medicine that was hard to come by. But he heard that Chun was kicked out of the Luo family because he couldn't awaken his fighting spirit. So why should he give him all this? Does Yin think that since he was kicked out of the family, there is no point in supporting him anymore? Yin told Chun that he didn't mean anything like that. He just heard rumors about it. Chun said that he understood what Yin was getting at. Then he would just let him know why he should support him. And then Chun couldn't hold back and hit Yin so hard that he was pinned to the door. And he showed his strength. Yin asked Chun what he was doing. He warned him if Chun dared to kill him. And then Yin suddenly fell silent and felt that his injury from this blow. Why did it immediately go away? Yin said to Bart Luo, could he really awaken his fighting spirit and also become a spiritual doctor? Chun said that there was no need to be so surprised. He was only able to awaken a 2nd-level fighting spirit. Yin smiled and said that it seemed like rumors really couldn't be trusted. After all, Brother Luo is very young and has a 2nd-level fighting spirit, and the Luo family are complete idiots. They lost a genius who could have completely changed their entire destiny. Chin said that his Luo family doesn't know that he awakened the martial spirit. Yin said that since the Luo family doesn't know about it, maybe he would like to join his Wu family then? Chen was surprised by this proposal and asked Yin why. Yin told him that perhaps he didn't know it yet. Recently, representatives from one of the best academies in all of Tiandu, the Wushu Academy, came to their Wulin County and said that they had 3 spots left for new students. And if with his talent, he will definitely be able to take one place for himself. He thought that the good academy in their area was the Wushu Academy. Yin said that he thought correctly. The Wushu Academy had recently fallen into decline because it was being oppressed by the Wushu Academy. But it has always been and will always be considered one of the best academies in the entire area. If he can get into Wushu Academy, those who enter the Wushu Academy will be given a chance to obtain the Tanluo pill. The 2nd-class Tanluo pill is top quality. It can clear the meridians and expand the soul. It will greatly help him in the future for any spiritual cultivator. In a small place like Wulin County, it is considered a real treasure, as well as a legendary medicine. The girl told Master Wu that Lords Luo and Mu were very unhappy with his absence. Wu said that if they were so unhappy, she could tell them to leave. He was talking to a VIP. Chun said that these 3 places were very valuable. When people from Wushu Academy came to recruit disciples, there would be a real storm in Wulin County, but he still would not join his Wu family and accepted his answer. He told the girl to bring Brother Luo what he asked for. The guard brought a tray and bowed and told Brother Lo that here was everything he asked for. Chen took it all for himself and thanked him. Yin laughed and said that Brother Luo was so polite. Yin took out a bag and told him to take this too. There are 100 gold coins here. It is a small gift from him. Chun thanked Bharat Wu and said that he would never forget his generosity. And then they parted ways. Strad told Master Wu that he would really just give him such valuable things. He drove away Masters Luo and moo just to help him. Yun told him to just think of it as an investment in their future cooperation. Chun is very talented. Just wait until he becomes a good spiritual doctor, and it will all pay off for them. When Chun went outside, he thought that with the help of the bone restoration pill, that brother's wounds would heal within half a month. The guy met Chun and said that he was wondering who this VIP person was that master who had to leave them because of. And it turned out to be a scumbag from the Luo family. Chun said that he had better not stand in his way. The guy said that he was interested. The trash of the Lu family dared to be impudent to him. At this moment, a guy in uniform came out from behind Chun and wanted to attack one of them. He saw it and managed to dodge such an attack. And then the guy was surprised how he could do that. Chun turned around and saw Luo Kuan. Chun knew that even a year had passed, and he was meeting people from the Luo family again. The guy who attacked Chun called him trash and asked Chun how he dared to dodge his taka. Chun laughed and said, "What is this guy calling him trash?" Chun said that Luo Kuan, the grandson of the second elder, so technically he is his cousin, but now he is an outcast and does not care that he is his cousin and decided to attack. But Kuan stopped his brother Lo and told him to calm down. Kuan said that he heard that Chun had been cultivating his soul for 3 years. And at the age of 6, he was able to become a spiritual warrior without even awakening his martial spirit. And you could say that he is a genius of sorts. And then Lo couldn't help but laugh and told his brother not to make him laugh. Luo said that even if he had a small beginning of genius, he still could not awaken his fighting spirit. And he was expelled from the family. He was just trash. Luo told Chun to kneel down and beg for mercy right now. Chun told them to stop talking nonsense. He didn't have time to talk to them. Let them be kind, not create trouble for themselves, and let him pass already. Kuan attacked him and asked, "Chun thinks he will let him go so easily?" Chun noticed this and jumped over his attack. Chun told Kuan that he had better not go too far. How can it not be too far? Chun had been in the Luo family for many years, and not only had he taken the position of young master, but the head of the family was also partial to him and hoped for his trash talent. But Chun didn't live up to expectations and took away the young master's position that should have been his. Chun doesn't want to apologize for this. Kuan said he would teach Chun a lesson so he would know his place. This is his 3rd level martial spirit, Fire Staff. Let's see how long Chun can act tough. Chun looked around and realized that Kuan had materialized a fighting spirit and decided to kill him. And then Kuan attacked Chun with his staff. Chun managed to dodge his attack and grabbed the staff with both hands, showing off his new abilities. Kuan was surprised to see this and asked how this was even possible. Chun punched him and told him to get lost. Luo saw this too and thought Chun was trash. Then how could he catch Luo Kuan's fire staff with his bare hands? Now Luo realized that perhaps Luo Chun was even more than a genius. That very evening, Chun came to the house and treated the boys to food. Chun told brother Xiao that his wounds should recover soon, so take a good rest for now. Senior Xiao said that it had only been half a night, but he was already feeling much better. The bone repair pill really was a miracle medicine. Xiao asked Chun where he got it, and he also brought so much food. Chun said it was nothing. He just asked for it from his old friend. Xiao thanked Chun and said that if it weren't for him, he would probably have died. Chun asked Xiao if he still planned to make a living by begging. They were born without fighting spirits. On the Doubt continent, only strength is important, and they are not hired even for the most basic work. That it is wrong to make money by begging. Here, let them take some gold coins. With them, they can open a small business. This is better than begging. Xiao thanked Chun and said, but this gold can only make their lives easier temporarily and not relieve them of all difficulties. Besides, they will not be able to invest or save so much money. They will be beaten and robbed, and they will have to beg again. Chun now understood that on the Duhe continent, those who were weak and did not possess martial spirits were not considered human. He was even expelled from his family because of this. The next day, Lord Luo said that Chun was able to block Luo Kuan's fire staff with one hand and even defeat him with one move. Is the guy sure about that? The boy said yes. He was definitely able to defeat Luo Kuan with just one move. The elder said that Luo Kuan's fighting spirit is considered one of the best. He definitely can't be defeated so easily. And since Luo Chun defeated him in just one move, Perhaps he was still able to awaken his fighting spirit and even jump over several levels at once. The Lord told his subordinates to quickly find him and bring Chun back. The guy told the chief that when he expelled Chun from the family, it was the Yi family that contributed to it. If he were to be brought back, wouldn't it provoke the Yi family? The elder told the second elder that he was simply afraid that if Chun returned, he would take over the position of young master again. And then his grandson Luo Kun will be left with nothing, right? The boy told the old man not to talk nonsense. His grandson has nothing to do with it. The elder told the leader that he personally severed the connection between them. So he thought that Chun would definitely not return unless he personally asked for it. If Chun, at such a young age, could already defeat the second-level martial spirit, then he could undoubtedly become the pillar of the Luo family in the future. Ryu stands against him. Can he compete with her? The Lord said that they should listen to his orders. Use any means necessary, but find and return Chun to him. Chun waited for the boys to fall asleep, and, taking out a book, he said that it was immediately obvious that this book about martial spirits was written by the Wu family. And besides the main 3 types of martial spirits, there are at least hundreds of other different types. And here, all the general fighting spirits are clearly described. It's a pity that there is no information about his fighting spirit. Chun walked outside and realized that he didn't know if Wu had any other books. After looking at the book, he decided that he would have to go to Qin Fen Pavilion again. When Chun arrived at the pavilion, he was walking in the crowd, and suddenly someone grabbed his hand and stopped him. It was a little girl. She told Big Brother to give her alms. And immediately under hypnosis, Chun said that he obeyed. Chun took out all the money from his pocket and put it on the girl's plate. The girl thanked him and smiled. And then Chun's power brought him back to his senses. Chun thought, what happened? He is a spiritual warrior with a second level of martial spirit. He was deceived by this little girl, and he didn't even notice. But if it hadn't been for his fighting spirit, he might never have regained consciousness. His gold coin was gone before he could blink, and then he started looking around for it. Chun knew that if this little girl wanted to kill him, he would already be dead. Chun put it aside for later and headed to the pavilion. Chun told Brother Wu that there were so many different types of martial spirits recorded in this book. It was amazing. Wu said he wouldn't brag about it now, because everything written, there was something his family had learned over the years. And in Wulin County, the books from his Wu family are considered the best, and no one dares to argue with that. Chun said that it was true. Their family had a great deal of knowledge. Chun realized that Wu still had no other books. Wu told Chun that since the academy would be recruiting students from Wulin County, the major families would definitely compete for these 3 spots. And with his talent, he will definitely be able to get one of the spots. But is he going to enter the academy as the Luo family's young master? Chun said, Wu, stop talking nonsense. He doesn't want to hear about the Luo family anymore. Don't mention it in his presence anymore. Chun stood up abruptly, and looking out the window, he saw the very girl who robbed him. Chun said that it seemed that the little girl had not been taught a lesson yet. Chun immediately headed towards her. The girl stopped when she saw him and decided to approach Chun again. As she approached, she told Chun to give her alms. Chun was not under hypnosis and said that he would give. And taking out nuts from his pocket, he put them in a plate, from which the girl was surprised. Chun said that this was what he had taken from him. If he tried to pull this trick again, this brother would have to punish her. The girl asked Big Brother what he was talking about. He did not understand him. Chun asked her, does she want to run away? She understood perfectly what he was talking about. Chun used his abilities and realized that this girl had a fighting spirit. How could she awaken it at such a young age? The girl started crying and telling Chun to let her go. Then people came and asked, what's going on? Isn't that the young master of the Luo family? The girl started playing to the crowd and told the passers-by to tell Big Brother to let him go. She shouldn't beg from him. And since Big Brother doesn't want to give him some money, there's nothing to be done. Ian will have to starve. People all started to treat Chun angrily and say that he didn't want to give alms, and now he was going to beat her up. The woman said she didn't expect that Chun was not only a waste of time, but also bullied little girls. Chun raised his head and smiled, saying that the girl was so young and was already deceiving people. It seemed like he should teach her a lesson. Chun grabbed her under the armpit and was about to hit her, but the girl screamed at him to stop and not to dare to do such a thing. And then the girl grabbed his hand and told Chun that he really dared to bully a little girl in the middle of the street. Chun told Miss Yi that she couldn't stop him, And then Chun let go of his hand and punched the girl in the ass. The girl screamed that it hurt her a lot. People saw all this and said that he was shameless and a real scumbag. He told Chun that he was an idiot and quickly stopped it right now. Chun said that there were a lot of idiots here, and this girl was a little thief. Are they all blind? Chun told Yi that she was a dumb girl, and that the little one used her fighting spirit to deceive and steal from ordinary people. He was just teaching her a little lesson. Chun saw that this little one was working too well. She already had a well-established scheme. Chun told the little girl that she'd better keep her mouth shut, otherwise that brother would have to spank her, but again. And then someone said to young Master Luo Chun. The boy turned around and saw a familiar face. The man told the young master that they had finally found him. Chun saw the clothes and realized that he was a guard from the Luo family. The guard told his men to quickly disperse these dirty beggars of the fords. The guards told the people that the show was over. Everyone get out of here. He said that they looked down on everyone. It seems like all of the Luo family are arrogant bastards. The girl told Misu that they had better return to the Yi family. After all, their family had already severed all ties between them. If they recognized her, it could end badly. Isn't this the young miss from the Yi family? He doesn't know if anyone told them that William County has been very unsettled recently. Missy asked the guard what he meant by that. Did he want to force her to stay here? Chun understood that although Miss Yi was very talented, the Luo family guards were battle-hardened and would not be easy to defeat. Chun decided to take them on and asked, weren't they coming for him? Was Luo Xiaodian really going to bring him back? The guard said that the young master was really smart. They came to him on the orders of his family to bring him back to the Luo family. Chun said that this young master was just a piece of trash and could not be called the young master of the Luo family. The guard told Chun that there was no point in joking like that. He was undoubtedly gifted with great talent, since he was able to defeat Luo Kuan in one move. Chun must have at least reached the strictly martial spirit level. He thought about it after hearing this. Luo Chun has been hiding his true strength all this time. The guard told Chun that the leader said that once Chun returned, he would personally open the ancestral hall for him and re-identify him. Chun thought he was being re-identified. What kind of opinion did his father think of him? Did he really think he was a dog that came and went when his master called? Chun said that he had nothing to do with the Luo family anymore. He would not return with them. The guard told the young master that he should not say that. And if the young master continues to insist on his own, I'm afraid then the leader will have to personally hurt the little beggars in the ruined temple. Chun couldn't help but grab him by the shirt and ask, is he trying to threaten him? The senior said, the young master's talent is amazing. It's just a pity he is still too young and inexperienced. The guard said that if he had been impolite, he begged his forgiveness. Chun told the girl that he could not scold her anymore, so don't do it again. The girl asked, would Big Brother go with those bad guys? Chun said yes. He doesn't have enough strength to deal with them yet, so he has to listen to them. Chun told the guard to accompany him, and those two have no connection with them. They should not pursue them. The senior told Chun that these were members of the Yi family. He couldn't accompany him alone. Wouldn't it be better to leave the rest of the guards with them? Chun showed magic and told the guard that if he thought he could make him go back alone by leaving these guards here, then he could try. Let him do as he was told. The guard said that he understood the young master. As he left, Chun told Miss Yi that she was a stupid girl. Walking through the door, Chun said that he had only been gone a few days, but it already felt like everything had changed here. And then everyone started saying, so that everyone would see, isn't this the scum of his Luo family? Could it be that he couldn't survive outside and decided to come back? And then the guys started telling everyone to watch carefully. Luo Chun and Hong crossed paths in front of the entrance. That scumbag, Chun, couldn't survive outside and crawled home to ask for permission to stay. Chun saw that there were a lot of idiots here. He had never seen them before. It seemed like the Luo family didn't care who they took into the family anymore. Chun said that this was great. Luo Hong had bullied him before. It was time to repay her, and he didn't have to worry that they were from the same family. Chun told Hong that she was a pitiful mongrel. When she saw her young master coming back, shouldn't she show respect and greet him? Hong said that this trash actually boasted about his former title as a young master. Then someone said that Hong doesn't have the Luo family's bloodline, as she hates being called names because of that. Chun dared to insult her, but Hong's cultivation had already reached the peak of the first level of martial spirit. Something was about to happen. This scum dared to insult her? and then she attacked him and asked. Chun foresaw this and was able to dodge her attack. Everyone looked at this and was very surprised. Hong told Chun to stop dodging and take her attack, and then she attacked again, and Chun dodged her attack again. Chun saw father coming out of the door and seeing them. Chun stopped, but Hong didn't want to stop, so Chun grabbed her hair. Chun used his powers and realized that she wanted to see what he could do. Let her take a closer look then. The elder asked the chief, is he not going to help him? The chief said that his Luo family does not need scum. If he can't even defeat Hong, then there is no point in taking him back. The Wushu Academy will be recruiting students in their Wulin County. Those who pass the selection will be given the Tang Luo pill. The leader looked at his strength and said that he had been stuck at the 4th level of fighting spirit for more than 20 years. And the Tang Luo pill can expand the soul. Then he can hope to break through to the 5th level of fighting spirit. Someone from his family must pass the selection and receive this pill. So far, Chun has the highest chance of passing. Han told Chun that she would kill him. Chun said that the stupid mongrel really wanted to kill him. Chun made Han open up, and then, seizing the moment, he launched his attack, and Han was sealed into the ground. Chun said that a mongrel will always be a mongrel. Next time, he won't be so merciful. The guards and all the people were surprised and asked how a mere scum could beat Hong like that. The leader told Chun that to reach the 2nd level of martial spirit at the age of 12, he is really impressive. Such talent is needed by his family. The leader told Chun that since he had regained his talent, would he like to return to the family? If he returned, the title of young master would also return to him. Chun told the chief that he must be joking. The guard asked Chun what he meant. The chief asked Chun what he called him just now. Chun said that the head of the Luo family, Luo Xiaotian, was standing in front of him. The head said that Chun was an ungrateful child. He didn't even call him father. Chun always told himself that he was just an adopted child. Not only did he banish him from the family, but he also denied his blood relationship. The head told Chun that if he wanted to, he could still. Chun asked him if he really thought he had the right to call the head of the Luo family father. The leader said that although Chun was not his biological son, he had raised him for so many years. If he wanted, he could still do it. Chun said he didn't need it. He only came back today to break off relations with his family. The boss never thought of him as a son. He only wanted to use him. The leader said that after a few days, Chun really managed to surprise him a little. Now he will start talking to him seriously. The leader told Chun that the Luo family had treated him well all these years. Does he really think he can just cut off all ties with them? The guy said that Luo Chun would never forget the goodness of the Luo family. Moreover, he would even enter the academy as a member of the Luo family. And then he, Luo Chun of the Luo family, would no longer owe each other anything. The girl said, did the head really want this offspring to return? And would the position of the head of the Luo family be inherited by this loser? Chun knew that the Tiando Empire was very big. He could go anywhere. The Luo family was too small. Then the boy approached Chun and said that his master was inviting him to a banquet, and that he should follow him to the Qin Pavilion. Arriving at the pavilion, Qin Wu said that he congratulated Chun on his victory over Hong. Let him pass immediately. Chun told Wu that his informants were working quickly, and no sooner had he left Luo's house than they were rushing to congratulate him. Wu said that he just wanted to say that with such talent, Chun could easily become the best of the best. How could the Luo family remain indifferent? But Chun didn't know half a month ago there were a lot of academies here wanting to recruit new disciples. Chun said that then what about the representatives of the famous Adamias? Wu said yes. He heard that people from the Wushu Academy also came to Wulin County to recruit new students. Chun said it was funny. What kind of geniuses must live in Wulin to attract people from the famous academy here? Chun realized that the Wushu Academy, it was all because of that stupid girl. Wu said that Chun was so talented. Maybe they came here because of him. Chun didn't say anything and remained silent. Wu said, is Brother Chun really worried about enrolling in the academy after half a month? Chun said that there are many talented spiritual warriors in Wulin. If entering the Wushu Academy is a normal competition, then even though he has cultivated, his combat experience is not enough. Wu said that if Chun wanted to increase his strength, he should go to the Spirit Monster Mountains to practice and gain experience. Chun said that Wu was talking about the mountains beyond Wulin, but he heard that this place is now abandoned. Wu said that besides, it was now an extinct place, and the number of spiritual monsters was limited, and even the children of influential families could only practice on the outskirts of the mountains. Chun said that apparently the only way to increase his strength in half a month now. Wu said that in any case, even if there were only 2 low-level, level 2 monsters, it didn't mean they weren't dangerous. Based on his data, there are many terrifying monsters deep within these mountains that are capable of destroying Wulin, and therefore it is a forbidden area that no one dares to enter. And every year, many people go missing in those mountains. And now, Chun, you should think about it carefully. After all, he is incredibly talented, which means he doesn't need to commit this reckless act. Chun said that in order to enter the Wushu Academy, he would not miss any opportunity, even if it was just a ray of hope. At the Yi family's house, the guy said that they had encountered a level 3 spiritual monster, only it managed to escape. Brothers and sisters, today, they realized once again that no one knows when they will die, the boy said. Family head Yi Ji said his family members were fatally injured. Could it really be a level 3 spiritual monster? Ji said that they had encountered a level 3 monster a long time ago. Inside a spiritual monster like this, there would definitely be a soul crystal. He asked what kind of soul crystal is this? The guy said that it was a special crystal located inside his body. And the higher the monster's level, the higher the crystal's level. Even a level 1 crystal is incredibly useful for a spiritual fighter. He asked, is this level 3 crystal very strong? The guy said that the spirit monster is stronger than normal in all aspects, and some of them are much more cunning than humans, so it is very difficult to catch them. Chief Ji said it right. If they can get a level 3 soul crystal, it will be a huge advantage. The leader said okay, and ordered them to immediately go to the spiritual monster mountains. He must get it. Missy said that she wanted to take a look at it too. The leader said that there was no way these mountains were full of danger. The guy said that a level 3 crystal is just a small low-level crystal. How could it be more valuable than her life? After she enters the Wushu Academy, he will give her level 4 and level 5 precious crystals. Miss E was outraged by this answer and said that if he didn't let her go, she wouldn't be able to go with him. Chen didn't hesitate and headed towards the spiritual monster mountains. When he entered the city center, he was very surprised. The man said that today was such an unlucky day. He found a couple of ordinary monsters. Chun said that this place was so lively, almost like Wulin. Chun asked the gentleman, are there many people in the mountains today? The man said that usually there are not so many people here. Recently, a level 3 spiritual monster appeared nearby, and now more and more people are trying to catch it to extract the soul crystal. The man asked the young man if he had come here alone. And here is his advice. Let him find a few more people to form a group. Chun thanked him for his advice and handed over the coin, saying that he would take them all. While Chun was putting the change in his pocket, a familiar guy from the Luo family walked by and bumped into Chun. The guy called Chun a little bastard and asked if he also came here for the soul crystal. The man told Kuiner to shut up immediately. Many people come here. Let him not blab too much. Kinio asked Grandpa, is he still afraid that Chun could become a leader? The little bastard came here alone, and it seems like he won't live to see tomorrow. Chun said that they brought many people here. Was it all in vain? The guy said that he did not think that Chin's father would be the city to them when he returned. Chun is a nobody, so just try not to die here. Chun immediately realized that if he met a monster, he had to take the crystal. Chun went into the forest and ran away from someone and said that there really were a lot of semi-spiritual monsters wandering around here. And then the snake attacked him. And Chun, seeing this, pulled out a knife and was able to dodge its attack. Chun used this moment to make a decisive attack and cut the snake into 2 pieces. Chun looked at it and said that this monster was bigger than he expected, but this is only the outskirts, so there are a lot of half-spirits here. Before the beast had time to rest, it saw Chun and immediately attacked him. Chun noticed this and dodged the attack. Chun released his knives and killed a monster from above. Chun stepped on it with his foot and began to think. But these semi-spiritual monsters are something between normal monsters and spiritual monsters, and therefore they are more difficult to fight than normal monsters. But they can never compare to level 3 monsters. Chun used her healing magic and said that even if his martial spirit healed him, he wouldn't be able to withstand the energy that would gather within him. And now Chun realized that the gentleman was right. It would be easier for him with a team. No. he needed a place to restore his spirit. Otherwise, if he met a level 3 spirit monster. And then Chun stood there for a long time and heard strange sounds. Turning around, he saw a bear heading towards him. But that wasn't all. Missy was standing there and saying that her father was right. Geniuses aren't born. But was she really going to die here? The bear pounced on her, and he managed to jump over it to avoid its fangs. Hovering over the bear, he managed to use her powers and direct them towards the bear. But the bear was also very strong, and Ye's attack did not frighten it. Yi was surprised that her attack did not even touch it. This wild bear, he is a level 2 spiritual master. The bear didn't like this, and he began to improve his powers and turned into an even stronger and fierce monster. He decided to use the protection sheet, but the bear simply walked up and crashed into her, breaking the protection. He was lying on the floor and crying. She was asking the bear not to come near her. The bear decided to attack, and he had already resigned herself to death. Chun saw this, and without thinking, he pounced on the bear and hit him. He opened her eyes and saw Chun. At this time, the bear stood aside and covered his face with his paws. But having come to his senses, he turned around and growled. Chun said that it seemed like the legs were useless here. It would only anger the monster. Then he thought about it and decided that he would use it to train his arms. Chun pounced on the bear and, sliding on the grass, dodged the blow and moved behind its back. Chun said that this bear seemed stupid and clumsy, but had a quick reaction, and Chun decided to attack it from behind. But this did not solve anything again, and Chun angered him even more. The bear showed all his strength and rushed to attack. Chun was not afraid of this, and like a brave warrior, he also headed towards the bear and punched it. But this did not give him anything. And then he used a knife and tried to pierce it, but the skin was hard and did not allow the knife to enter. Chun now realized that this was an earth spirit monster, which meant that its skin was hard and it couldn't be pierced by ordinary weapons. The bear decided to attack and hit Chun right, sending him flying back. Chun immediately got into a fighting stance. Chun opened his eyes and saw the silhouette of a bear and realized that he was being attacked and immediately dodged. Chun hid behind a tree and realized that he was no match for this bear. He needed to figure out how to escape from here. The bear forgot about the girl, and when he saw Chun, he went after him. And then Chun saw a great chance to escape and used it and decided to run away. He didn't like it and called him a pervert. She asked him what he was doing. Chun told her not to move if she didn't want to die. But the bear crashed into the tree, apparently hurt his arm, and got stuck. He thought about it, and after taking a closer look said that this idiot wasn't that bad. He asked him if his fighting spirit wasn't level 2. Why did he decide to go to such a dangerous place? Chun asked, what about her? She doesn't have a protector from her family with her now. Yi said he was a pervert. Chun said whether she believed it or not, he just didn't want to leave her here. He could use her as bait and easily get out of here. But instead, he wasted his energy on her and asked Chun how dare he? And then they both fell silent. Opening their eyes, they saw a pack, and he said it was a 3-eyed wolf, and now they were attacking them. Chun grabbed Yi and fell to the ground, protecting both of them from the wolf's attack. He knew that it was an air-type spirit monster, indicating its incredible speed. He told Chun that he couldn't. Let him run away and not worry about her. Chun said that she was a stupid girl. Even if it was just a cat or a dog, he didn't want to die. And if he escapes, she will stay here and die. He rubbed her consciousness and fell asleep. Chun put her down gently on the ground. Chun said that each martial spirit has some skills attached to it. Could it be that his skills can only heal? Chun began to release his magic more and was ready to fight these wolves. But from his magic, plants began to appear on the ground. Chun said that he didn't even want to think about it. They were air-type monsters, so it was in his best interest to deal with them as soon as possible. Chun raised his hands up, and immediately plants appeared in front of him. Chun wondered if this was his martial spirit skill. Chun launched his vine into battle and attacked the wolves by tying them up with plants and immobilized them. The chief found out and said that his young mistress had left. So why were they only telling him about it now? Were they too full of pancakes? The guy said to Sister Ryu, did she really go to fight a level 3 spiritual monster when they let their guard down? The leader said that Ryu has been famous for her genius talent since a young age. She is the lovely pearl of their house. If something happens, the leader smashed the mug and told them to disappear. Even if he had to kill all the monsters in the mountains, he would find the young lady. Chun looked up at the sky at that moment and saw that it was going to rain, but the wolves were still standing there, tied up like plants. Blood started to flow from the wolf's mouth. Leeching saw that the wolf was coughing up blood. Was the three-eyed wolf poisoned by his martial spirit skill? Chun felt sick and immediately fell to the ground. He thought that the spirit monster was physically stronger than a human, but despite this, he died. And then he smiled and thought, what if I use such a skill on a person? Will he surely die immediately? He thought it was an ordinary plant spirit, but he never thought it would be so cruel in battle, and even use a rare poison is not as simple as it seems. And then Missy woke up and said Chun first. The guy touched her head and said she had a fever. Chun told her to wake up and stop sleeping. Yi told Chun not to leave. Chun tied her to himself and told her not to be afraid. He would not abandon her. Chun took her to a secluded place and said that if this continued, her life would be in danger. He didn't know if he could help her. Chun said, no matter what, first we need to deal with the fever, and immediately sent his energy into Ra's body. Chun saw that Ra was changing her appearance, and his power was working against her. Chun touched her forehead and felt that the fever had gone. Chun began to think that first the wild bear, then the three-eyed wolf, and on top of that, this stupid girl, he had exhausted all his spiritual energy. Chun also passed out from such extreme fatigue and immediately fell on Ra. And then in the morning, Ra woke up and saw Chun, who was lying next to her. Ra got scared and immediately shouted at Chun. The guy stood up abruptly and squatted down in a stance, ready to fight. Chun asked what's wrong with her. Ra said that Chun only wanted to take advantage of her. Chun said that she was a stupid girl and ordered her to open her eyes. And then Ra thought and realized that everything was wrong. Ra said that Chun was injured by a wild bear. Didn't it hurt? Chun turned his head away and said it was nothing. Ra said that she was worried about him. So let him be kind and answer her normally. Chun took the blanket and said that since it was already morning and her fever had subsided, she needed to leave here quickly. And if she meets a level 2 monster again, he's afraid things won't go so smoothly for her. But these mountains are dangerous. With his current level, they will not survive. Chun said that the path of a spiritual master has always been thorny and difficult. If he is afraid now, then what will happen in the future? He feels like his skill level has increased. So now he is sure that the only way to improve his skills is to fight. Ra said, Chun is practicing so desperately, if it's all for the sake of entering the academy. When did she become so sure that she could help him? Ra said that she has a special fighting spirit, so she can appoint a candidate. Isn't it her level 5 fighting spirit that awakened? HN bad. However, nothing special, right? Ra said that she had awakened the spirit of her twin, and then she demonstrated her abilities. Chun said that only someone with incredible talent could awaken the spirits of the twins. No wonder she was so confident that she could help him enter the academy. Ra told Chun to leave the mountains together. If he spent a couple of days with her, he would be able to enter the academy without an exam. Chun thanked her and said that he would definitely enter the academy, but he only wanted to rely on himself. Ra understood that the martial spirit continent was so big. She didn't want to leave her in Wulin County. Chun ran away from the monster and saw that it would not stop. The moment he dodged the beast's attack, the bear released its fangs into battle. Chun turned around and saw the monster's fangs flying at him and said that things were bad. He immediately landed on the ground and used his vine magic. The bear tried to break away from them, but the vine was persistent and immediately immobilized the bear's movements. Chun saw that this guy was as tough as 3 normal monsters combined. His branch could only hold him back. The entrance exams to the academy start in a few days. He can't forget about the monster for a while. But Chun couldn't understand why the bear kept pestering him. And then the bear let go of the hole and rushed to attack. The bear managed to get Chun and hit him so hard that Chun was pinned to a tree. He started waving his arms and shouting, "Stop fighting." Chun said that he had been chasing him for several days, and he couldn't escape. His bones were broken, so why didn't he just kill him? The bear didn't understand him and growled in response. Chun closed his eyes and immediately saw the bear handing him a pill. Chun asked him what it was. Did he really want Chun to eat it? And Chun immediately began to eat it. At this moment, Chun began to feel the unseen energy. He realized that this plant had healed his wounds so quickly. The bear also showed him his paw, and Chun said that his armor was very strong. He couldn't believe that he could leave such a deep wound. But this cut looked strange, as if there was something inside. And then the bear began to show him that his paw was hurt. Chen asked the bear if he was trying to ask him to cut his wound. And then the bear took the tree and put it in his mouth. Chen said that the bear had been chasing him for several days, and he began to use his soul control skills. It looks like he was just testing him. So this bear was just looking for a suitable fighter to ask for help. Chen said, "In that case, brother bear, forgive me." And then Chen pulled out a knife and cut his paw. Chen opened his eyes and said that it was expected. But Chen did not stop and made several more attacks. And then the knife broke. Chen said that after all, this blade was forged from ordinary iron. Yes, using the soul power, it became stronger, but not enough to cut through skin. The bear got tired of waiting and broke the wood in his mouth. Chen told the bear that it was impossible with such a blade. And then the bear took Chen on his shoulder. Chen began to struggle and asked the bear what he was doing. The bear brought him to a place, and Chen told him to let him go to the ground. Chen looked around and asked, "Why is the miasma getting thicker and thicker?" He never thought that there was such a fierce place in the depths of the gorge. The bear threw Chen aside and showed him one creature, which at that time was lying and not moving. Chen was surprised by this and asked what it was. Was it really a dead dragon lying in front of him? Chen asked, "Is there really a dragon deep in these mountains?" But this dragon is full of treasures. Even its scales are very valuable. Not to mention the entire dragon. If he takes it, he will become very rich in this world. The bear couldn't speak and just guided with his fingers. Chen said the bear wanted him to come to him. The bear began to nod its head in response to his question. And Chen immediately began to approach the dead dragon. As he got closer and closer, Chen began to sense a dragon aura that was incomprehensible to him. Chen realized that the bear wanted him to train here. If he could adapt to the environment here, then it would not be difficult for him to face a strong enemy. Chen said that since the entrance exams were starting soon, he could stay here, but not for long. And then the bear put his paw on him. Chen stopped in surprise and asked what he was doing. The bear grabbed him by the bosom and threw him straight towards the dragon. Chen didn't understand at first, and then began to pass through the dragon's aura. Chen looked at his image and wondered if the aura had become stronger as he got closer to the dragon's body. The bear saw that Chen was not coping and immediately decided to come over and help him pass through the aura. Chen said that it was no wonder that the bear's physical abilities were so remarkable. He had used the dragon's aura to purify and improve his body. Although a soul master is able to increase their strength through cultivation. But even so, a weak body is a big problem. One mistake, and he is a corpse. But in large families, the older members go hunting to bring the blood of a powerful monster to the heir. And now he has a great opportunity, so he should try his best on this. In the Yi family's territory, the head said that people from the academies and martial arts schools arrived here 2 days ago, especially for her. But in their family, Yi is the first genius in Wulin. He is so proud of her, and they will not interfere with her choice, no matter academy or school. But at this moment, Ro was thinking and didn't know what happened to Chun in the spiritual monster mountains. The head said that he thought of a special quota. The remaining 2 places will be assigned. Ro told her father he can leave her 1 place. The leader was surprised and asked Ro why she wanted him to reserve a place for her. Ro said that she wanted to give the place to Chun. He said that he wanted to enter the academy. The boss told her not to even think about it. The Luo and Mu families are laying claim to their trading platforms, and she wants to give him the place. Ro told her father that if it weren't for Chun, her daughter would have died in the mountains, and besides, he had cut off ties with the Lu family. The leader told her to stop thinking about him. It's been a long time. I think Chun died in the spirit monster mountains. Go. Leaving in tears, said that if he didn't agree, he could take her quota too. She didn't need it. The leader thought that this little bastard was probably dead by now, but she was still asking for the Yi family's special quota. The chief told the guard to keep a close eye on the situation. As soon as Chun appears, 3 days later, Chun continued to train and improve his skills to become much stronger and more resilient. It seemed strange to him. How could all this heavenly and earthly energy penetrate into his body? Having penetrated completely, This energy twisted him and placed him in something strange and eerie. And then Chen saw that in front of him stood a fighting spirit of plants, absorbing spiritual energy. Chen saw that there was an air mass behind him. He thought, what is this? This crystal is capable of absorbing most of the soul power. Chen was not afraid of this, and immediately touched the crystal, and it began to absorb it. Chen opened his eyes and wondered what this incredible devouring power was. Was a new spirit? Chen realized that the one he awakened, it was a twin spirit. Since it was so damn good at absorbing, he would call it the absorbing martial spirit. Chen saw that this absorbing spirit was very strange. Not only could it absorb the power of the earth and heaven, but it would also absorb about 90% of his body. It's very unusual. It almost absorbed all his energy. He shouldn't miss such an opportunity. Chen said that given the time, I'm afraid that the Academy's admission process has already begun. Chen turned around and told the bear to forgive him. He had some important things to do. He would be back soon to help him with his wounds. Mishka didn't like that this guy left him, and immediately rushing at him, he saw only his trace. Chen was running at full speed and wanted to be in time to participate. But at one point, he stopped and saw the houses. The guy in the pub said that the Yi family had never been so influential. Now, everyone in Wulin tries to flatter them. This is all because 2 martial arts academies offered 2 special spots to Ms. Yi. He also heard that Yi Ji was furious when he found out that Madame Yi wanted to give the quota to that idiot from the Luo family. And then the man shouted that this was nonsense. No one had seen Chen since he entered the mountains. I think he died there a long time ago. Anyone can get a quota. And at that moment, Chen enters this tavern, but no one recognized him at first. Chen told the owner that he needed a good room, and also a bath and new clothes. And then the owner turned around and said in fear, "Is this Lo Chun? Let them take the guest to the room." But as he climbed the stairs, Chung stopped and looked at everyone. How surprised they were by his arrival. The guy said that Chun is still alive. Let everyone spread the news that Chun came back alive. The leader asked his son how Ro was. The boy said that he was still saying that she didn't believe that Chun was dead. He would definitely come back alive. The leader told Wei that this quota was his, but now it belongs to a dead man. Wei said that, by the way, the Luo family is still in the hall. You shouldn't think so. Chun is just a piece of shit. In the Yi family hall, there were several people waiting for someone. But then a guy from a Mu family came, and his name was Chong. He asked who he saw. Wasn't it the head of the Luo family? He is so shameless that he even bothered to come here and ask for a place. Chief Luo said, speaking of shame and conscience, hadn't the Mu and Yi families been feuding for many years? So what happened now? Did the fish come out of the water? Isn't it because of Chun? He died in the mountains, and then the head of Lo stood up and began to point at Chun, when suddenly several birds flew in and brought news. Chief Luo started laughing loudly and said that Chun was a bastard. Let them go and bring him to him. Chong said that after his long absence, he finally returned alive. The boy told his father that he had already seen Chen's strength. So, I'm afraid they won't be able to get the quota. Yin also received the message and said that Chun was sure he understood everything correctly. The guy told all the people that they could verify this. Why is the whole of Klin so upset about some garbage? And then the girl told the guy not to call him trash. She saw with her own eyes how he defeated Kuan, not to mention that he has a great future ahead of him. Then Kuan came and said that it was no wonder that Madame Yu was in love with him. If these families could unite, they would have no equal in all of Wulin, and asked them what they were doing here. People asked, isn't that young Master Yi? He really is here for the engagement. Wei said they were here to kill. If there are no suicide bombers here, then move aside. Wei asked Kuan, why is he pretending? Wasn't he the one who hated Chen the most? Wei told him that if he teamed up with him, he would be able to shine again as the young master of the Luo family. Isn't that a win-win solution? Kuan said that, by the way. As soon as they heard that the Luo family's genius had awakened, they immediately ran to beg them to renew the engagement. Now the Yi family has turned its back on them, and Wei is trying to tease him. The girl asked Kuan why he was talking to this trash. Kuan said that lately, he has not lived up to the leader's expectations. Of course, if he makes a mistake again, Head Luo will definitely kick him out of the Luo family. Wei told Kuan that after he said that, he didn't care how many idiots from the Luo family he killed. And then, several fighters from the Yi family attacked Kuan, and the guy used his diamond hammer. Kuan pulled out his weapon and managed to put it in front of him for protection. And then Kuan was very surprised by this. The girl was very surprised because it was the same fighting spirit as Kuan. And now he is no match for him. The guy attacked the girl and told her to worry about herself. But the girl dodged the attack and managed to hit back. The boy from a Yi family didn't cool down and immediately began to attack again. But then Chin came out and threw them all aside. He asked, "Does this mean that the Yi family is now the Wuling masters?" The girl called Chin a piece of trash and said that it was his own fault. Let him not involve them in his problems. Wei told Kuan that it seems that not everyone in the Luo family is an idiot. This girl knows better than him. The girl said that Luo Kuan, the Yi family, had produced a genius with double the fighting spirit, and she had a bright future ahead of her. Now the Yi family is willing to do all the dirty work for them. So why wouldn't they just give this scumbag away? Kuan shouted at Hong and asked what nonsense she was talking about. Did she want to disgrace their family? Chun said, "Since when did the servants of the Luo family start making big deals? Luo Kuan, this is a bad dog. It needs to be punished." Hong pounced on Chun and asked what he said. Chun did not speak to her and immediately attacked. Chun said that a dog that wants to bite its owner is a bad dog. Hong thought, when did this kid become so strong? She can't hit him even once? Hong told Wei, what is he waiting for? Let them fight him together. Wei said that she would be a burden, that she would drag him back. Wei said that Chun had reached the cultivation of the 2nd star level, but alas, he would have to fight him. Kuan told Chun to be careful. Wei is at the peak of his level. He is known as an invincible person at his level. Chun released his vine and asked Wei, he is an unrivaled genius of his generation, right? He really doesn't know who could be so unlucky. Wei allowed the vine to cover him and said it was fantastic. He then released his beast and tore off the vine. Chun thought that the beast's fighting spirit added a lot of strength. Was he really a 2-star fighter? Wei attacked Chun and told him not to hide. He thinks he is worthy of the quota just because of his valor. What the hell is this quota? He doesn't care about all this. Dual martial spirits. What's so special about that? Wei said that he didn't know what methods Chun used to embarrass young Miss Yi, but a trash like him wouldn't be able to get the quota. Wei stopped and asked Chun what he said, that there was nothing unusual. Chun said that from the beginning to the end, the so-called admission is unfounded. And what about the open quota? Thanks to Yi-Ro, it's good that they're fighting. Wei said he prayed for the quota, and Chun called it useless. Wei attacked Chun with an attack and said that he would kill him, and then he used a lone wolf fist attack. Kuan said that Chun was crazy, who in their right mind would fight Yi Wei's wolf, his worthless plant spirit. Wei said that Chun was an idiot and he would cut off his worthless hands. But here everything turned out differently, and Chun managed to break his wolf. Wei said that there was definitely something wrong with Chin's strength. It was as if the contact between him and the martial spirit had been severed. There was an explosion and Wei missed the attack. He said that Chun did a good job, and now he is confident. Chun said that Wei should go back and tell Ji that Chun would enter the academy himself. No one needed this stupid quota. Wei told Chun that he was in no position to ask him to deliver his message, but he would explain everything to the leader. Chun thought about it and was glad that he had tempered his body with Dragon Gorge. Otherwise, these arms would have been useless. Kuan told Chun that the head of the house sent them to take him home. They accidentally ran into the Yi family people here, so don't talk nonsense when they return. No longer a member of the Luo family, and has no relation to the young master, so stop acting. Kug said that it didn't matter. He had already said what he had to. Now it was up to him whether he would return or not. Chin said that he didn't care either. It didn't concern him anymore. He had somewhere to go. There were many people gathered at Qin Feng's house, and they said that they came here to visit young Master Luo. Yin told Brother Luo how many people wanted to meet him. There wasn't enough room in Qin's house for everyone, and said that they were all weaklings. Yin said that Luo had defeated Wei and become the strongest in the ruling district. Now, no matter what the academy's status, there's still room for Brother Luo. Why don't these people just hurry up? Chen asked Yin what about him. Does he plan to use him the same way as those people? And told Chen that it was painful for him to hear this. When Brother Luo was in trouble, this younger brother gave him help without charge. Did Brother Luo forget about this? Moreover, the martial spirit continent respects strength, and he is just a businessman. Brother Luo is gifted in martial arts. He will inevitably think stupid things. right? Chen said that Brother Yin was right. Not only did he not humiliate him, but he also helped him a lot in difficult times. Yin said that today was the last day of the entrance examination, so why not accompany Brother Luo to the assessment site? Chen said that was a great idea, and then someone shouted from outside for the guards to let him in. At that moment, the boys stopped and wondered who it was. It was Xiao. He was shouting for him to let him through. He is Chen's good friend. He has something very important to tell him. The guards pushed Xiao in and said that there were many people here who wanted to see Mr. Luo, and he was just a beggar who wanted to join the others. The man punched Xiao and asked where this little beggar came from. How dare he call himself young Master Luo's friend? Master Luo is a respected person. If he is his friend, then he will call him grandfather. Xiao said that no matter what he was his friend. But then the man was about to hit the boy, and someone threw a stone at him. The man asked who it was, who dared to attack him from behind. And then Chen jumped out and said that it was his grandfather's friend. The man fell to the floor and asked Chen how he knew him. Chen said that the man dared to hit his friend. Is he tired of living? Chen asked. The man told young Master Chen that he was blind and mistaken. The man said to his younger brother, grandfather, let him ask young Master Luo to pardon him. Chen said he hates people who step on other people's faces. Chen asked junior brother Xiao what he was doing here. Xiao bowed and said to young Master Luo. Chen told Xiao not to worry. Nothing can spoil their friendship. Chen asked, where is Xiao Wu? Call him. He will buy them chicken legs. Xiao told Chen to save his brother. He's sick and dying. Chen asked the guy what he said. Chen grabbed Xiao and told him to take him. Yin jumped up and told Chen that today was the last day of the entrance exam. Chen said that his friend's life was more important than some exam. The boy told Wu that he brought Chen. Chen used magic and told him to hold on. Why is his body still so cold? Why didn't his fighting spirit work? Why do people who are truly kind to him end up like this? All he has left in the end is a bunch of false supporters. Chen and Xiao accepted this and dragged his body outside to be burned. They both watched and prayed for him to find peace. Xiao told Wu that it was good that he was no longer there. He wouldn't have to suffer from the contempt and bitterness of this world. Xiao said that Chen almost exhausted all his spirit to save him. Don't blame him for this. Xiao told Chen that it was time for them to go. He was the master of his spirit. He had a long way to go. Don't stop at this small, abandoned temple. How is this possible? This is the fate of a person with an awakened martial spirit. A serious illness, a snowstorm. Anything could be too much, and he, sooner or later, would die too. Chen told Brother Xian what he had thought. He would leave the ruling district to see the outside world. It might be hard for them to see each other after such a farewell, but their friendship would always be in his heart. Xiao was awake at the time and heard everything. He thanked Chen. He hopes that he will have a bright future. Ro asked his father if Luo Chen had really left the ruling district. The chief said that he was seen leaving the city at dawn. Yiro, she hasn't chosen a direction yet. The instructors are waiting for her. Let her hurry. She needs to go. Ro told the chief that her daughter was leaving. Let him take care of himself, father. And then she climbed onto her bird. Ro thought that with Chen's talent, if he had come to the exam, he would have been able to enter the academy. Why hadn't he even said goodbye? At this time, Chen continued walking and saw that the snowstorm was getting stronger and stronger, and he couldn't even see a place where he could take a break. It looked like he would freeze to death. Chen began to feel the weakness of his body, and immediately closing his eyes, he collapsed into a snowdrift. The people heading through the mountains to the city stopped along the road, and then one of the men came out and saw Chen, who was lying under a snowdrift. The man told Ms. Zhong that someone was lying in the middle of the road. The girl carefully got out and asked the driver if he was conscious. The man said no, and it seems he lost it because of the long journey without food and in the cold, and realized that they couldn't leave him here to die. She told old man Xiao to carry this child to the carriage. Xiao picked up the child, and then on the way to the carriage a man stopped him and said that they would soon arrive in the Bayon Valley. What if he was their spy? Xiao told the man that he was just a child. Did he really want to leave him here to die? The man said that many better people die every day, and he takes care of this little rascal. The man told Xiao to give him this child. Even if he is not a spy, he is still a burden to them. Zhong couldn't help herself and went out and told them both to calm down. Zhong said they had a huge responsibility, and they were going to argue now. She was taking responsibility. Zhong laid him on the bed and began to give him hot tea to bring him to his senses. Chen opened his eyes and asked the girl who she was. The girl said she was Zhongli, and the boy was lying unconscious in the snow. Nothing serious, but he should rest, and called her fairy sister for saving his life. He would repay her with kindness in the future. Zhong said that he was too young to repay kindness. Let him remember, if a bad guy hurt her sister, he would have to protect her. And then someone from the street told Mrs. Zhong that there was a valley of white clouds ahead. Did she really want to go that way? Xiao said that although White Cloud Valley is the closest to the city, it is notorious for its bandits. And if they want to face the bandits, they won't be able to resist them. Zhong said that if they go around, when will they arrive at the city of white clouds? Xiao said that the detour would take at least 7 days. Zhong said no. The delivery deadline was in 2 or 3 days. They couldn't be late. And they would enter the valley when it got dark. Zhong told Xiao that the Zhong family had fallen apart after her father's death. If this deal fell through, they would not only have to pay a huge penalty, but also have to repair the Zhong family's damaged reputation. And now he can't allow this. Xiao listened to the lady and agreed, and was ready to go to the end. At this time, the third leader of the White Cloud Bandits stood on the cliff and watched those guys. The gang leader said that it seemed like the information was true. The big sheep was really here. And then he pointed his sword at them and told his men to attack them and kill everyone there. Zhong saw an arrow that hit her cart right on the spot. She warned everyone to be on guard. Xiao said, "This is terrible. These are all the bandits of the White Cloud Valley." Zhong came out and told them to prepare for battle. Zhong also did not hide and began to fight them too, and did not give the bandits a single chance. Xiao told the second madam that they were prepared. Most of them had 2-star cultivation, and the leader had at least 3 stars. They won't be able to stop them. The guy said it was his fault. The guy she saved was probably a spy, and if they want to die here, then let them die themselves, and he will run away from here. Xiao shouted that this guy was a coward. Suddenly, the gang leader appeared in front of him and immediately cut him down. Did he think it was a dream? It felt like he had been there before. Chen began to smell a very familiar smell to him, coming from the street. He wondered what was going on there. Opening the curtain, he saw many dead bodies and people running away from the battlefield. Why are there so many corpses here? Were they caught in a bandit trap? No way. He had to save them quickly. Chen charged at the bandits and immediately released his vine, killing several. The bandit's blood fell on his face, and now he realized that it was the smell of blood. Looking behind the carriage, he saw the gang that was pressing Zhong. She was shouting at them not to come near her and to leave her alone. The gang leader grabbed her sword with 2 fingers and said that it had been more than half a year since the White Cloud Village opened, and he had already earned not only a fortune. And then the leader broke Zhong's sword with 2 fingers, and then she fell to the ground screaming. The leader grabbed Zhong and said that he would also get such a cute beauty as a bonus. Zhong, in tears, began to say that even if they kill her, she will never go bad. But Zhong always held a knife behind her, and then he grabbed her, she pulled it out, and pointed at her throat. Turning back from the horse's cry, the leader saw that they were heading towards them, and there was some guy at the wheel. Chen told Zhong to climb up quickly, and immediately he reached out his hand and grabbed her. The boy told the third leader that the girl was running away. The leader told them all to go out and chase after them. Send someone to guard both exits from the Valley of the White Cloud. Zhong said that the furs were stolen. Her guards were dead and seriously wounded. She was running away, but the bandits were chasing her. And at this rate, they would catch them. Chun grabbed her waist and pulled her closer to him. He told Zhong that he could get together. Get together? Zhong asked, blushing. Chen said that the speed at which the carriage was moving was too slow. They would quickly catch up. It was better to jump off now and let them chase after the empty carriage. And then Chun grabbed her into his arms. And at the right moment, they both jumped off. They hid behind a rock, and seeing people running after the cart, they believed that they had all bought it and said that they were safe now. Zhong kissed Chun and said that he was so smart. Chun said that even now that they had escaped, it would be difficult to survive. And they had nothing. If they don't die at the hands of the bandits, they may die of hunger or freeze to death. Zhong said that, to be honest, this is the first time she has come to the Valley of White Clouds. She is not familiar with it, but she heard that this was a very unusual area with difficult-to-pass mountains and a large number of caves. Then Chen asked what other caves. Zhong said yes, They're said to be interconnected and have a complex structure, like a labyrinth. But the caves are damp and cold, and if you get stuck there for a long time, there's a high probability that you'll die there. Chun said there were no other options, so let's hide in the cave. Zhong knew she was a 2-star fighter, but after the chase, she was exhausted. But this guy wasn't even tired. Zhong told Chin to stop knocking already. What is he looking for there anyway? Chin said that he found. The sound of the stones of the wall here is muffled. Perhaps this is the entrance to the cave. Chin pulled out his fist of green and said he would try it, and immediately broke the stone and found the entrance. Chun smiled and told Sister Zhong that it was time for them to go. Zhong asked Chun, "Who is he? Is he also a spiritual warrior?" Zhong was shocked and asked him how many stars he had. Chun smiled and said he had 2 stars. Zhong noticed that Chin's talent was amazing. He was much younger than her, but he already had 2 stars. No wonder he was so calm. Little Chun seems to be very impudent. Try to laugh at her, pretending to be younger. Chun told Sister Zhong that he was no longer a baby. According to the laws of the Do continent, he could marry her in 2 years. Zhong said that Chun was a very cunning talker. On the way to the cave, Zhong saw a man's leg and was very scared. Chun saw this and caught her, and immediately, together with her, they fell into the cave that was even lower than them. Chun fell and found himself on top of Zhong, and looking at each other, they became embarrassed and immediately moved away from each other. Chun raised his head and said that the cave was very beautiful. Zhong said that she did not expect that it was so beautiful under the White Cloud Valley. After walking for several hours, Chun told Zhong that they had been here before. Were they really going in circles? Zhong started shaking her head and said that they were lost. If they were lost in this cave, then death from starvation would overtake them here. Zhong became very ill and lost consciousness. Zhong knew that she had been injured in the previous battle, and now that she had almost exhausted all her strength, she couldn't stand the cold air in the stone cave. Chun told Zhong that he had something special in his soul. Could he show it to her? Zhong agreed and said that she trusted him. Chun immediately used his abilities. Zhong understood and thought that it would take a long time to recover from the injuries. And Chun is very good at this. Chun stopped treating her and asked if she was feeling better. Zhong thanked him and said that she was feeling much better. Chun told Zhong that the White Cloud Valley was a notorious place. They could deliver the fur by going around it. Why did she choose the most dangerous route? Zhong said that the deal was proposed spontaneously. Time was short, and the clan elders decided to put her in charge of the trip and ordered her to act without fail. She chose the shortest route. After her father's death, she and her sister were the only ones she could rely on. And in recent years, under pressure from other large families, the Zhong family has been in decline. And now that their furs have been stolen and the Zhong family has nothing to sell, she fears that this will worsen the situation within the family. Chen immediately realized that something was wrong. There must be a traitor. The bandits of the White Cloud Valley knew that they would come to attack them. Perhaps this whole deal was a trap. Chun said that it was time for them to go. After all, this place was bad for her injury. They had better go and find a way to get to White Cloud Valley City faster. Chun told her not to worry. He knew where to go after so many complicated circles. Zhong walked and thought that such a difficult cave, but Chen seemed to have completely memorized the route. A genius who never forgets anything. Chen found a way out and told Zhong that she had not fully recovered yet. Let her wait here for a while. He would check everything outside. Zhong said that she would wait for him here, but let Chen be careful outside. Several people took a break, and one of them said that thanks to the letter, they could follow the third boss to get some money and then go and have fun again. The second guy said that it was true, but it's a pity that Mrs. Zhong, such a beauty, ran away. Otherwise, it would have been something. And then Chun released his powers and squeezed their throats and asked, otherwise, what would they do? The boys screamed in pain and begged the hero to spare them. Chun hated such people, and with just his plants, he killed one of the bandits who attacked. Seeing this, the second guy was frightened. Chun asked, who told them that the Zhong family's carriage would pass here? The guy said that it was the Zhong family. Someone informed the third boss that the second madam of the Zhong family would be traveling through by Yun Valley with the cargo. Chen became completely curious and asked that besides him, how many other people were hiding in this valley? The boy pointed and said that there were 24 more brothers ahead, ambushed on the road. Chen spared him and let him go. And then the boy, smiling, thanked Chen for not killing him. But Chen was not so stupid as to leave behind witnesses and immediately pierced the guy's chest with his vine. Chen knew that if he let them go, they would still die, but only after they informed others that they knew about the ambushes. In order for them to get out of here unharmed, they need to get rid of all the bandits, especially those sitting in ambush. After passing through the valley, Chen decided that he would destroy everyone to open the way for them to enter the city. But one of the bandits, seeing this, decided to run away, but Chen noticed him and immediately grabbed him and killed him on the spot. Zhong stood outside and thought, why had Chen not returned yet, but encountered some danger on the way? And then Chen jumped behind her. Zhong couldn't hold back and was very scared from such a roar. She opened her eyes and saw Chen. He told her that he didn't expect her to be so timid. Zhong punched him in the chest and asked why he was teasing her. Why did it take so long? She thought he was in danger. Chen said that he had scouted everything. A few one-star bandits were not enough for him to be intimidated. Zhong said that in that case, they can leave here quickly. Chen said that when he was on reconnaissance, he heard them talking. What? Someone informed the White Cloud Valley bandits of their location. That's why they were ambushed. Zhong was surprised and said that it was all someone's vile trap. And then she headed to the valley, but Chen grabbed her hands and did not let go. Zhong told Chen to put her down. She needs to go back and find out who the traitor is. Chen said that if she returned now, she would fall straight into the lion's mouth. And considering all the pitfalls in the family, this matter is very strange. So they could go to Bai City as planned and investigate it secretly. Zhong wiped away her tears and said that Chen was right and she would definitely head to Bai Yun City. After passing through the Zhong Pass, she saw the corpses of people and immediately headed towards them. Zhong asked Chen if he saw several groups in ambush along the road. Or was it Chen who took care of all these people? She asked. Chen said he didn't know. It was like that before. Maybe someone did it after seeing the ambush. And the ones they saw on the road, there were at least 24 people. It was too scary if he did it alone. Chen told Zhong to move faster. They would surely get out of the valley by dawn. Arriving at the gate, Chen told Zhong that he would treat her once they entered Bai City. Zhong said that after paying the duty, he would probably only be able to buy a few meat buns with that gold coin. Chen asked what kind of toll. Why hadn't he heard of it before? Zhong said that Bai City is the third largest city, and non-locals in the city are required to pay a toll to enter the city. Not only that, the higher the level of the city, the higher the fee you have to pay to get into the city. Isn't this just a black city? The man at the booth told them to give their names and pay the fee. After writing down their names, Chen and Zhong were stopped at the entrance, and immediately this cashier guy ran out. Chen asked what's wrong. They paid their money. Why can't they come in? The man said that they've tightened the controls recently, so they'll have to check the authenticity of this coin. They'll have to wait here. Zhong said that then they would not go into the city. The man threw out a coin and said that they should not wait here. If they did not enter the city, they would insult their hospitality. Chen saw in this man a 3-star soul master. No, could this really be a trap for them? The leader came to Elder Zhong and said that as he promised, he stole the furs and killed the people. The leader asked Zhong, isn't that too little? 3,000 gold coins? That's not something they would be happy with. Zhong said that the agreement was to receive the furs intact, but they delivered the card in tatters. So how much more do they want? The gang leader said it was true that the furs were not in the best condition, but they took care of his problem. If he wants to take control of the Zhong family, there is a young girl in Leeching. They can still work together in the future. Zhong threw down the bag and said, here are 5,000 more gold coins. Let him take it and get out. But then a guard ran in and said information into Chief Zhong's ear, which made him very surprised. And then Zhong stood up and asked, is this girl really not dead? From such strong anger, he broke his throne with his own hands. Chen and Zhong stood outside, away from the entrance, so as not to dishonor their reputation. Chen saw that so many people had entered the city, but after hearing their names, they were unwilling to let them in. This was just an excuse to detain them. Zhong asked Chen, would they really be attacked? Chen said it was true. This fat man deliberately showed his strength so that they would be shocked and stay here. Chen said that this old man is not acting directly. He is just stalling for time. Then Chief Zhong came out and said that Ms. Zhong is here. Zhong said that this was her new friend Chen. But then a fat man ran out and asked Mr. Zhong why he was here. He would follow his orders. Chief Zhong said that she was a few days late, and he told the guard at the gate to pay special attention to her appearance. Zhong said that it was time for them to go, and when they returned they would talk. At this time, Chen watched everything and remained silent. Walking deep into the city, Chen said that this branch of Baiyun City was so magnificent. The Zhong family was definitely not simple. Zhong asked Miss Li, was the journey smooth? Li told the Great Elder their caravan was attacked by people from Riyun, but the route through the Baiyun Valley. This time he suffered heavy losses. Zhong jumped up and said that Riyun village was so brave that they even dared to attack the Zhong family's caravan. At this very moment, Chen observed the behavior of Chief Zhong and saw how nervous he was. And then he showed his strength. Chen saw that this great elder's aura was much higher than Luo Xiaoyan's. He was already a 5-star spiritual master. Zhong asked Miss Li, is she hurt? The boss told manager Wei to wash an hour with friend Chen. The old man and Miss Li have something to talk about. Wei told Lord Luo to come with him. Chen stood up and looked at Zhong. Wei told the servants to surround him as if he were the master himself. Did they understand everything? But then Chen realized that the elders had deliberately distracted him and chased him out of the room. Most likely that he was in collusion with Ryan Village. If so, Zhongli was in danger. But the strength of the Great Elder is not less than 5 stars, and Wei's actual strength is not much worse. If anything happens, the possibility that D and he can escape is extremely small. Then Chen stood up and said he didn't expect that there would be so many masters in the city. His cultivation was insignificant compared to them, and now it looks like all he can do is wait and get to know his fighting spirit better. During the battle with Wei that day, the mysterious devouring fighting spirit produced a miraculous effect. Chen thought internally, why was his spiritual power weaker than before? Could it be that it was being consumed by the devouring martial spirit? But he knew that this martial spirit could absorb and block the power of the evil spirit if he mastered the martial spirit's skills through absorption. He may also have the element of surprise when he encounters a strong opponent in the future. But he knows too little about that. Having plunged into the very depths of his fear, he moved to a strange place where he saw that very dragon. Chen realized that this was the Spirit Beast mountain range. It seemed that there was a connection between the Spirit Devourer and the Spirit Beast mountain range. It was too hasty to leave Wulin County, and Brother Xiong's matter could only be resolved by returning to the Spirit Beast mountain range after increasing his strength. And then the doors opened by themselves. And Chen asked in a surprising voice, who is there? Chen didn't take any chances and hid behind the door and thought, who came this time? The old man or Master Wei? Seeing the man's leg, Chen realized that they really wanted to separate them, but it would not work. He immediately decided to attack. Seeing the person completely, Chen stopped in surprise and saw that it was Zhong Li. Li asked him what he just wanted to do. Chen said nothing. He just mistook her for someone else. After Elder Zhong ordered Wei to lower him, it looked like he wanted to imprison him here. There was definitely something wrong with him. Li said he was a fool. She was the one who asked Wei not to let him out of the room in case something happened. Chen asked, what about Elder Zhong? Li said that the Great Elder had lived in Baiyun City for many years, and his cultivation base was incomprehensible. It is said that 30 years ago, the Great Elder had already reached 6 stars. And then Chen said surprisingly, 6 stars. Li said it was unclear whether Zhong was actually involved in the theft. But that was not the point right now. The Zhong family is in danger, and this could seriously damage their reputation, which would make things worse for all of them too. Chen asked Li what her plan was. Li said that her sister Zhong Xinjin was now in charge of Leeching City. If something happens to her in Baiyun, Elder Zhong will be involved. Guancher Wei is here, so they are safe, but to avoid long nights, she will go to Leeching tomorrow, so as not to miss the martial arts college freshman exam this year. Chen asked Li if she was a freshman at martial arts college this year, and said that she was not a freshman. Roughly speaking, she was a potential second-year student. She was currently preparing for the second-year freshman assessment. Then Li had an idea and asked Chen, why doesn't he go with her tomorrow? After all, the Zhong family, as a special class family, would have a quota every year, and entering the martial arts school with his talent would definitely not be a problem. Chen thought about the martial arts college, the quota. He doesn't know what happened to Yi Ro and what she chose in the end. Li asked Chen if he by any chance wanted to return to Leeching City first and then think about enrolling? Chun said he would definitely think about it. The next morning, a carriage was brought for them to travel. Li went out and thanked the leader for taking care of her these past days. She would definitely tell her sister about this when she returned to Leeching. The gang leader came and asked Elder Zhong. Zhong said it was okay. Wei would accompany them himself this time, so it wouldn't be too much of an inconvenience. In any case, the Yi family would have to pay a heavy price depending on how the elder sister handled the problems. Chun looked out the window and asked Sister Li, are they going to cross Baiyun Valley again? Isn't she afraid that the people from Riyun will attack again? Li said that Wei was with them this time. If they dared to attack, it would be worse for them. Chin said that he didn't know that little sister distrusted Wei. Was he really that strong? Li said that Wei was his grandfather's servant. Although he didn't achieve everything that his grandfather had, no one thought of him as weaker and wondered what would happen if the Zhong family got into trouble. And then Li looked at Chan without taking her gaze away. Chin thought about it and said to Li, maybe she won't look at him like that. Li asked what happened last time in Baiyun Valley. 26 bandits were killed. 3 of them were masters. She knows it was all Chin's doing. Chin asked her what she was talking about. He couldn't understand her. Li said she didn't want to talk about it, but she wanted to remind him. Little sister knows that Chun is very cruel and harmful. The Leeching masters are like clouds. All the forces are intertwined. When they get there, let Chun not cause trouble. The rules in this city are quite strict. The imperial city of Heaven-Do is divided into 10 royal cities, and Leeching City, arriving at Leeching City, the guard told the carriage to stop. Before they cross the border and enter the city, they must check them carefully. Wei said to the second lady, they're already here. The guards want to search everything. Li said they don't have time for such nonsense. Let's go to the city. And then the guard heard everything and asked, did they not hear? The guards must search them. And then gold was thrown out of the carriage and the guard caught it. He understood what it was and immediately let them into the city. Is this Leeching City? What mean, man? Li said that Leeching is one of the top 10 cities. Naturally, it won't be as pitiful as Baiyun. Chin said that he thought Baiyun was big enough, but compared to Leeching, he was nothing. Li told Chan that they had to go, because his sister would take him home, and then they headed towards the gate. As they got closer to the gate, they heard someone shouting for the gate to be opened. Chun said that it looked like someone was causing trouble. The people shouted, does the ruler think he can hide for long? Zhong Xian come out. Li said that although the Zhong family is not the same as before, that does not give anyone the right to stand and rebel in front of the gate like this. Li sent Wei to go and find out what happened. Wei bowed and immediately went to carry out the order. The girl came to the lady and said that the Zhong family shop had recently been closed. Many servants had secretly left the house. The mistress of the house said that after the death of her father, the Zhong family situation had deteriorated greatly. And then Li ran in and yelled at her sister that she was back home. She hugged her sister and said that she had screwed up the deal. Miss Zhong told Li Yan to cry. Let them go into the house and talk quietly together. Chen saw that it was Miss Zhong. She is quite young to lead such a large family. Although Master Wei is with them, there are more and more people with hard hearts. No one should be trusted. That Satyr Wei had lived in Baiyun for a long time. She thanked him for visiting Leeching. Wei said that he was worried about Sister Li. Zdong asked if she could inquire who the young man was. She was able to reach Lichjin safely. Chen immediately greeted his sister. Zdun laughed and said that Mr. Luo really stood out. She didn't even expect it. Li ran up and asked her sister what she was talking about. What she meant was that there were 26 bandits in Baiyun Valley, and almost all of them were level 2. He was able to defeat them all, and thanks to him, she was able to escape. And then Wei realized that the elder did not notice that this boy was cruel. Chen smiled and said that it was just a coincidence. Jun said okay and told Master Wei to help Chen look around while she talked to Li. Zhong said Li had been through a lot. Li said her sister was on the verge of death, surrounded in the Baiyun Valley. And of course, it looks like there's a traitor in their Zhong family. Zhong said that they have a lot of underground rats in the family, and they're not going to hold back any longer. Li told her sister that she saw many people rioting outside. Zhong said that their fur was stolen, and they owed a large amount of money for breach of contract. Even the pharmacy was closed 2 days ago, and Mo's family came to their aid. But she wants to ask her for an engagement to their family. Li asked her sister why she suddenly said this. Sister said that now the Zhong family is in decline, Leeching's lifestyle has also changed a lot. The Mo family is ranked 3rd among the 5 strongest families. This time, they help them solve the problem besides. It was the master's suggestion. She sees that he likes Lee, so why shouldn't she think about it? Then the guard came and told the lady that Mr. Imel Chung had arrived. They were both surprised by his arrival. Chun said outside at the time that Zhong Mansion was simply huge. No wonder Master Wei didn't want to show him everything. The guard told the master that Lee was tired after a long trip. Why didn't he come another day? The master of the Mo Chung family told her not to worry. He would wait for her. Don't disturb her, let her rest. Then Chen came and asked the guy, "Who is he? What happened to Zhong Li?" The guy asked Chen, "Does he know Li?" "His name is Mo Chung. He is the future groom of the second lady." Then Chen thought, when did Zhong Di's little sister get a fiancé? She was so proud. How could she love someone like him? And then Mo let go and said that it was true. Chen thought about it and realized that given how much had happened to the Zhong family, he didn't know whether he was an enemy or a friend. So it was time to figure it out. Chen told him to go away. Little sister would hardly like someone like him. And then Mo said that he was strong. Mo charged his hands and immediately sent the energy straight into the stone. Chen thought that even though he looked like an idiot, he was a third-level warrior. Maybe he's not such a bad choice. Warriors like him have always been known for their defense and their fierce fight against ugliness. Yi Wei, known as the genius of Wulin City, must have been far behind him when he was training in the Beast Mountain Range. He was tempered every day. If he didn't use the fighting spirit, he wouldn't be better than him. Chen said yes, but he's still not good enough. Let's do it this way. If Mo can withstand his blow, he'll take her to Sister Zhong. Okay? Mo asked Chen, would he attack? With such skinny arms and legs, even if he didn't defend himself. Chen said, stop talking nonsense. If he knocks him down, he will never come back here again. Chen gave him advice to defend himself. His blow is strong, and I'm afraid it can even kill. Mo said there was no need. Let him begin. And then Chen gathered his strength and attacked, saying whatever Mo wanted. Mo saw that Chen's strike was even stronger than the second level. He had to defend himself. And then Chun saw that the guy was caught. Chun charged the attack so hard that Mo was sent flying back several meters, but managed to stay on his feet. Mo stood and looked at Chun, when suddenly he began to spit blood from his mouth from a strong blow. Chun realized that fortunately Mo was scared and used his spiritual power to defend himself. The blow was absorbed, but it still managed to injure him. Mo wiped the blood from his face and said with joy that they must definitely fight again, and asked them what they were doing. Lee went to Chen first and asked if he was okay. Mo told Lee that she had misunderstood everything. They had just had a little argument, and he was the one who got hurt. Chen told Lee that brother Mo was right. It was really a misunderstanding. Lee said that she would deal with him later. Zhong went to Mr. Mo and told him to take the medicine. And then she ordered the master to be taken into the house to treat his wounds. Chen saw that there wasn't much blood. Could it be that he was really Zhong Li's fiancé? Lee grabbed Chen's ear and said that she knew Mo was naive enough. Admit it. It was his idea, wasn't it? Chun said that so many bad things had happened to the Zhong family. He was afraid that Mo would be a bad choice for her. So he tried to understand how things really were. And then she realized that it was concern for them. Zhong said that Mr. Mo was famous for his strength, and Chun had hurt him badly. Chen told her not to exaggerate. Zhong said that recently many elders have been insistent on distinguishing families. She asked them to come over to discuss it. Lee asked her sister in surprise, did they threaten her? Zhong said that now that the store is closed, they owe a large amount of money on the contract. There is nothing that the elders want to stay away from. Wei said that if Mr. Zhong is still an 8-star warrior, who dares to look down on their family? Zhong said that after what happened to her father, Zhong's family had lost a lot. Lee asked her sister what they would do. Zhong said that she was going to take her back to the martial arts college first, then stay alone and try to reach 6 stars as soon as possible. Chen asked Zhong, is she already level 5? Is this also a martial arts college student? Lee said that her sister is the youngest teacher since the college was founded. Today will be the final battle of the 5 stars. Zhong said that she had heard about it from Lee. Even though he missed the entrance exam, if he still wants to enroll, why wouldn't he rush into the hall? Whilst to break into the hall, Chen asked. Zhong said yes, if he could break even 1 college record, maybe he would make an exception. Lee said that considering that only the elite study there, it would be impossible, wouldn't it, if Lee hasn't tried it? How can she know it's impossible? The next day, they came to the house, and Chun asked his sister what they were doing here. Zhong said that there are various weapons for sale here. How can Chin go to the martial arts college without buying at least some? Zhong said that she wanted to find some special materials here, and they can go and look around. If they find something useful, they can buy it. And don't worry about the money. Li asked Chin what type of spirit eater was his favorite. Chin saw that there were so many of them here. Any one of them could cause a fountain of blood. And then Chun saw the sword and touched it and was told to take his hands away. The salesman told the lady that they were the first. Would she like to see anything else? And then she hit the salesman and said that this is what the lady wants. Chin asked her if she even knew what a Q was. What right does she have to be human? And then the girl turned around and headed towards Chun and said that he was cute. Let him follow her, but only him, and asked what was wrong with her. Let her leave immediately. The girl did not back down and asked Chun what he was doing. Li stood nearby and watched all this. Li went to Chun and told him to forget it. It was just a provocation. After leaving, Chen asked Li's sister why she was stopping him. Li asked him if he even knew who this girl was. She had an intermediate level of soul devouring. And then Chun asked her again. Chen said he thought this girl had 3 stars. But what was bothering his little sister? Li told Chun if he noticed the hammers in her hands. If she was not mistaken, they were mid-level items. Li said they're usually made from natural materials and earthly treasures. And they're different from ordinary weapons. They have their own soul power and complement the soul power of the owner. The compatibility level also plays a role here. The higher it is, the more effective the weapon will be. So this girl won't be so easy to deal with? That's exactly what Li said. Besides, she's quite rich for such a young age. It seems like her background isn't so simple either. Chun told Sister Li that the Zhong family is going through the worst of times right now. It's not a good time to make enemies. So let's go to another store. But then Chun noticed that they were being attacked. And the guy pushed Li away from himself and dodged the girl's attack. Didn't she tell Chun to follow her? Chun said she was crazy. They didn't want to get into trouble. And now it looks like he'll have to teach her a lesson. Should I teach her a lesson? How presumptuous. And then she used the force of the hammer. Chun stepped on the hammer and immediately released his green. The girl asked him, does he really think this will work? She tore the greenery and told the boy to just dream about it. Chun stood and watched, but was very surprised. Li watched from the side and said, this is bad. Their compatibility is very high. Chun understood and saw that it was really difficult to deal with this abnormal person, but nothing could be done. The girl immediately launched an attack and told the guy to get what he deserved since he disobeyed. Chun used his defensive hands, but the force of the girl's blow was so strong that Chun was sent flying back. Then the girl started looking at him and realized that the guy wasn't dead. But then Li entered the fight and immediately attacked her. The girl managed to dodge Li's attack, and Chun arrived in time and immediately launched a green attack straight into her hand. The girl cut the greenery and saw blood running down her hand. Chun said that if he were her, he wouldn't move because she was poisoned. The girl asked Chun if he even knew who she was. Chun said that he didn't know who they were. All he knew was that she humiliated others based on their cultivation and background. But then Li came and told Chun to wait. She asked if the girl would die. Even though she is impudent, more innocent people will suffer if she dies. And then Chun sighed and began to walk towards the girl. Chun grabbed her hand and started to treat it. The girl got scared and asked him what he was doing. Chun told her to calm down. She'll die if she keeps moving. Chun said that no matter who she is, it doesn't mean she can do whatever she wants. It doesn't mean that she wants something. And then the girl sighed and asked what he was trying to teach her. Chun said that if she didn't listen, he would make her suffer much more. The old man told them that it was not so easy to run a small shop, so they should be quiet. Chun took Sister Li and said that everything was fine and they should go. And then the girl told him to stop and asked. And then the guy turned around and said his name was Luo Chun. The girl insulted him and said she remembered. Li asked Chun if he was okay. It was quite dangerous. Chun said that fortunately, he had been through worse, so it was no big deal. Chun said that he needed to become stronger as soon as possible. If only he could get mid-level weapons. The crowd gathered in the middle of the city and shouted, "What a big yellow stone." The guys walked to the front, and Li was surprised and said, "What a big stone. I wish I could buy it," said the man standing next to me. Chun asked his sister what Huan was for. Li said it had many functions, even used for medical purposes. For the first time, she sees a stone of such a large size. But then Chen noticed something and did not understand what he was looking for here. The guy asked, "Is the boss responsible for opening the stone?" Chen was surprised and asked. Li told Chen that this man, although young, is already a master of Horcrux. Master, Chen asked. A Horcrux master is a special person with a reputation similar to a soul doctor. They always have many talents. And of course the legend says that they have the power to open the world and close the hole. Shouldn't he be at the Martial Arts Academy now? Where did he come from in Leeching? But Li looked at her for a long time and became very interested in why he had such a high level. Zhong came over and said that Luo Shan, the son of the Luo family in the Imperial City. Li turned around and was surprised to see her sister. Li asked Zhong, "Is the Luo family in the Imperial City?" Zhong said that the Luo family is a true aristocrat. Even when the Zhong family was at its peak, they were always at the top of the families. Luo Shan is very talented, but he also has a dissolute character. As the young master of the Luo family, he is currently the master of the 3-star martial spirit. Zhong said that if he were not from such a respected family, he would have been expelled from the academy long ago. Zhong said that he was invited here by saying that it was an ordinary stone. Although the Luo family is very rich, 30,000 gold coins could still go missing. Chen said he didn't think anything would happen. The old man told the boy he hoped the boy would take responsibility. The guy threw the money and said that there were 30,000 coins. The man grabbed the bag and was very surprised. The people standing nearby said, "This guy is so rich. Let him open the yellow stone worth 30,000 gold coins. It will be broken now." The guy said that they should open it now. He wants to see what's inside it. The old man asked, "Right now? In front of hundreds of people?" Li said strangely, "Why is the boss nervous?" Chun said that if they don't open it now, everyone, both the master and the audience, will be disappointed. So he wants everyone to see it. The guy took out a knife and said he would do it. The guy stopped him and asked if he was sure that was how the stone was broken. He would lose the coins. The boy grabbed the knife from the old man's hands and said that he would do it himself. The boy put the knife in front of himself and with great effort cut the stone. What kind of nonsense is this? There's nothing inside. Could it be that 30,000 coins were spent on nothing? The guy smiled and said that they were idiots. At that moment, the stone began to glow and fall apart little by little. Li was surprised and asked what was going on. Zhong said that it seemed like the gold they spent had been reimbursed after all. The guy sighed and realized that he had apparently won. The old man said that he had lost. It turned out that this was the best yellow stone. And then the crowd gathered around the guy and shouted that they would pay as much as the guy wanted. But then the guy recognized Zhong and asked what she was doing there. Zhong turned around and said that it was time for them to go. The guy grabbed her hand and asked, "Does she remember him?" "It's Luo Shan." Zhong pulled her hand away and told him to let go. But then Luo Shan heard a name that was familiar to him. Turning around, he saw a guy he knew. Zhong asked Chun, "Do they know each other?" Chun turned his head and said no. And Luo said yes. Luo started telling them everything and mentioned Sui. Zhong became curious and asked who Sui was. Luo moved his head to the side and said that this was Chen's lover. Zhong asked him if he was trying to get a divorce. Luo said no. Let Zhong listen. Yi Zhou wanted to enter the academy, so he went with him. Zhong said that it was enough to humiliate herself. Although they studied in the same academy, now he is a student and she is a teacher. She is not interested in weaker people at all. Zhong told Chen again that it was time for them to go. Luo said that she was very much mistaken. How could he be weaker, much less humiliate himself in front of her? The servant came to the head and said that most of the Zhong family shops were now in their hands. Mog, the eldest son of the Mo family, said that it was a great job. The guys did a great job. The servant said to Mo, didn't he think that if the young master found out, it would be a small thing? And what did Mo ask? Zhong and Mo are just puppets, no matter who they marry. Especially now that the Zhong family has lost its former strength. After all, sooner or later this creature will fall into his arms. And then he will think about how he can have fun with her. Zhong asked Mr. Luo how much he wanted to stay in Zhong's house. Luo asked her if she had forgotten their friendship. Now that he's in Leeching, isn't she going to shelter him for a while? Zhong asked him why he's such a crook, and then the guard came and said to the first lady. Zhong said that he was in such a hurry. Let him discuss the separation of the family. Zhong told the two elders that today was not the day of the meeting. The elder said that he heard that many of the Zhong family's industries have been given to other families in Leeching. How could he remain safe in Baiyan? Zhong said that, as she had said before, they could wait for the other elders to discuss. The elder said that the situation was quite critical now. Li asked them, don't they understand why? Zhong asked them what they thought they should do. The elder said that it would be difficult for them to cope with the current situation, and he had a way to help the Zhong family. But they can replace some elders with others, the second elder said. Zhong jumped out and said that they wouldn't dare do it. And then Mo came and asked. Mo said that the first lady seems to be in trouble. He can help her. Zhong asked, what brings him here, sir? Mo said that once Mr. Zhong had a child with his Mo family. This time he came to ask for a child again. Zhong said that now that her Zhong family had fallen, he thought he could give up on that idea. Mo said it was hard for the first lady, but if she ate and drank with his family, wouldn't she be more comfortable? And then Wei stood up and told Mr. Mo to please have a boundary. Luo immediately flared up and started pointing at Mo. Chun told him to calm down. They would see how the situation unfolds. When they agreed on the wedding, they didn't name a specific name. So why don't they take him into account? And then Zhong told Master Wei to take him away from here. Wei took up his sword and asked Master Mo nicely. Mo said that was all for today. Since Mrs. Zhong was not friendly today, he would come back later, and said that the lady was not stupid. Or was there something he needed to understand? The elder told the girls that eventually they would have to get married, give up running a family, find a husband. Li said they were all going crazy and clearly needed to be taught a lesson. Zhong said that the level of their elders was quite high. However, if they angered the ML family, they would regret it. The elder said to Mr. Mo, given the current situation, I'm afraid Zhong won't give up his position anytime soon. Can he really displace her? Mo asked him what he was afraid of. She was in a dangerous situation and no one was supporting her. Mo told Elder Zhong that he is different. He has the Mo family behind him, but he is still afraid? The elder said that he was always afraid when something dragged on. If she still didn't give in. Mo said that he would think of something else then. Mo told the elder that Lady Zhong would fall and then he would rise in her place. That night, the gang leader broke into the house unnoticed and, entering the room, said that he'd said that Li was on his mind. Chun sensed this and immediately released his abilities and tied up this impudent fellow. The leader didn't understand what was going on. Seeing the guy, he asked how Chun knew he was coming tonight. Chun said that it was just a coincidence that Elder Zhong and Mr. Mo came today to stir up trouble together. He knew that since little sister Li had not given in to him, he would not give in. So he kept an eye on everything and nothing would escape his notice. Li said that was rude. It wasn't enough for him to have robbed him. Now he was trying to blackmail him. The leader started laughing and asked, would she really not guess? And then Shin said no to Li and told her to move away. The leader blew up the vine and immediately grabbed Li and ran away with it. Shin saw this and told him to stop and run after him. But then Zhong ran up and asked what was going on. The elder said that they shouldn't worry. Li was safe in her husband's arms. If the master of the house is disobedient, then one should not blame the old man for not knowing pity. Chun and the others looked at each other for a long time, and then Chun made the decision to go save his little sister Li. One of the elders didn't like it, and using magic on Chun, he asked him where he was running. Chun saw this, but he couldn't react. Then Zhong came to the rescue, and by blocking the attack, she helped the guy. The elder was surprised and asked, is this a fighting spirit? Zhong told Chun that she is here and he should find Li, said that the young man had gone to his death. But perhaps she could save her life if she was obedient. Wei stood in front of the queen and told Zhong Lao not to be so confident. Victory was not yet a foregone conclusion. Zhong Lao pulled out his sword and told Wei that this was his stupidest mistake. Since he wanted to die with her, Wei was not afraid and, standing in a stance, immediately repelled this powerful attack without hesitation. The second elder looked at Zhong and said with joy that he was very lucky. And then he released the flower lights that he placed behind the boys. Chun was catching up with the gang leader and releasing his herbs. He tried to stop him and save Li. Out of nowhere, fiery arrows began to fall from the sky, and Chun had to stop. He shouted loudly and asked. The gang leader turned around and said in surprise, it's the boss. And it was the leader of Baiyun village. The village leader told his subordinate to take the people away from here. Then Chin attacked and said that if they wanted to leave, they should leave Li. The village leader was not surprised by this, and pulled out his sword, cutting through his vines with ease. At this moment, Chun was surprised and realized that this guy was a 3rd level and was only getting stronger. Chun didn't let go of his hand and said that he had to do it. The leader asked the guy if he was trying to beat him. But why is he tempting his luck? Isn't it better to leave? Chun told him to forgive him, but here he is refused. At this moment, Chun released his vine and tied the leader to immobilize him. The leader raised his sword and said that these were 2 simple tricks. The leader said that he saw that the boy's soul and body were much stronger than that of the 2-star warrior. Chun came very close, and the leader said that unfortunately, the guy was no match for him, and immediately repelled his attack. Chun noticed that he was not alone, and this guy said that he would not leave it like this. After all, he would never have the opportunity to see such a show again. The leader and his servant did not expect such a turn of events and asked who this guy was. Luo asked Chun how he found him. Chun said he was there when the guy detained him. Luo said that Zhong asked him to help him. He thinks that Chun is strong enough and can't deprive him of the chance to become famous as a hero. Chun said that Luo's skills are above him. It looks like he came to watch a show. He won't get away with it, believe it or not, but when they return, he will report everything to Zhong. Luo told Chun not to do this, because he was his only son-in-law. At this point, the leaders were surprised by their interaction and said nothing. The gang leader threw Li to the floor and immediately began to attack Lo. Lo saw this, and without any effort, he immediately slapped the attacker without feeling anything. The gang leader, holding his face, understood that this guy did not take him seriously. He stood up again and decided to attack, but Law dodged his attack. All of the gang leader's attacks were in vain. After all, Law was so fast that he couldn't hit him. The leader immediately found a solution and attacked directly. Lo did not run away and stood in front of the blade, stopping it with 2 fingers. Luo held the sword in his fingers and told Chun to concentrate. But at this time, Chun was fending off the village leader's attack. Chun said that Luo was talking too much, so he should hurry up a little and finish him off already. Lo smiled and said that time was running out, so he couldn't play anymore. Let him wrap it up already. Lo launched one of his best moves into the ground, and immediately the crystal expanded and pierced the leader's chest. Chun saw this masterpiece and said that Luo did a good job. The village leader thought and saw that this guy's servants after the first blow, and now he needs to get rid of the boy quickly, otherwise there might be problems. Then Chun received another strong attack, but managed to withstand it. Luo looked away and asked Chun if he could help him, and then Chun said that everything was crap. He had exhausted all his strength to deal with it now. Luo told Chun not to hide his strength, finish him quickly, and help little sister Zhong. And then Lo entered the fight and said that he regretted that he underestimated. He did not expect that he would have such a good reaction. And then Lo began to evolve, and the guys were all surprised and could not believe this wonderful miracle. Chun saw that although their enemy had guessed Luo's hidden power, he clearly did not expect it to be so powerful. He had awakened an extremely rare elemental spirit. The village leader was surprised to see a 5-star spirit, a fighting spirit. Luo released his crystals and told the enemy to ask Lord Yin about it. The leader saw and said that things were bad for him. Seeing the smoke that poured out after the attack, Chun was delighted and said that everything worked out. But then a light was visible from the smoke, after which it turned into the silhouette of a man, and the leader remained alive. And then both guys were surprised and couldn't believe it. The leader said that he couldn't be killed so easily. The leader immediately pulled out his trident and headed towards Lo. The guy managed to set up protection, but it slowly began to crack. Luo stepped back and realized that their enemy's spear was a mid-level Horcrux. Chun asked him how he knew. Law said that with his 4-star weapon, it was impossible to break such an ice shield without a mid-level Horcrux, and said that this guy is very smart. And then he started his attacks on Lo, and the guy tried to dodge his attacks. Lo saw and understood that it would be difficult for him to win instantly. Luo pulled out a backup from his pocket and told Chun that this was Piyun's Horcrux, and he had created it for Zhong, but it didn't suit his spirit. If Chun can use it, let him find a way to stop this brainless ghoul. And then Chun said that he began to feel his fighting spirit merging with the Horcrux. Having mastered it completely, he immediately rushed into battle. The leader saw this and immediately created a defense to hold Chun back while he fought the other. Chun didn't give up and tried his best to ensure that his attack hit its target. And then the leader began to see that he couldn't break free. The boy's vines were tightening ever tighter. Chun told Luo to hurry up quickly because his strength was already at its minimum and everything was about to collapse. Luo released his ice sword and immediately headed towards the leader. The enemy saw that everything was heading towards death and began to panic. Luo still managed to bring everything to its goal. The leader began to choke on blood because the ice went straight into his chest. Falling to his knees, the leader said that he was leaving. He would leave this world right here. Chun took Li and said that Zhong still had two opponents. They had to go back. At this time, Zhong was kneeling and about to lose. The elder told the lady to ask him for forgiveness. Wei saw that the first lady was in danger and immediately shouted at her. Distracted by him, he forgot that there was a rival in front of him, who immediately wounded him. Elder Zhong told Wei not to look around during the battle. When he turned his head, he saw that the first lady was in danger and about to die. The elder released his flower into battle and aimed it straight at Zhong. But Wei arrived and froze the flower with his ice attack. Luo asked him how he dared to touch his people, and then Zhong was surprised how bravely he saved her. Elder Zhong looked to the side and said, "This is the trash of Baiyun village." And then he ordered that he simply kill them all and leave nothing behind. The elder heard this and released several of his flowers. But Luo had already set up a defense in advance, and the elder was very surprised that his attack was useless. Chun released his vine and grabbed the elder. Luo smiled and told Zhong to return the favor. Zhong took out her magic guitar and immediately used the dragon string. The dragon string was so magnificent and powerful that the elder simply poured out his brain. But Zhong's strength was waning, and she immediately lost consciousness. Luo picked her up and asked how she was. Zhong said she was fine. Chun told her to take Li to rest and leave the rest to them. The elder was very angry and, throwing the sword at them, asked if she should leave it to them. Wei saw this and immediately blocked his attack, grabbing the sword with his bare hands. Wei was so angry that he immediately blew up the sword with his own hands. The elder said that he was an old fart. He had completely lost his mind. Wei said that he would not allow him to do whatever he wanted in Zhong Palace. And the guys immediately went to work and immobilized the elder. The elder smiled and said that they expected to capture him using their pathetic skills. The elder turned out to be strong. He opened his arms and immediately freed himself from the ropes and managed to inflict damage on the guys. The elder said that today they will all die here. And then he turned into something terrible called a monster. Luo said that this is the final Thunder Soul skill. It uses the Vajra as a vessel to attract the spiritual power of heaven and earth, forming an electric discharge. Zhong Lao seems to be breaking through the 6-star realm already. They must stop him before the formation process is completed. Wei asked, how can they do this? After trying his strength, he said that he could not get closer. Wei said that with his ability, it is possible to break through the lightning, but it takes time to prepare. Let them find a way to distract him. And immediately looking around, he saw a rock. Grabbing it, he directed it to the elder. The elder saw all this and said that it didn't even affect him. And then Lo also entered the battle, but it was all useless. The elder said that what other bales the boys will present, let them show it right now. Wei came to the end and said that the guys had done a good job, and now it was his turn. Wei began to perform his heavenly sword formation, and when he reached the limit, he launched it into the elder's energy stream. The elder, seeing such a flow of heavenly sword formation, knew that his perfection would be interrupted. The elder fell to his knees and said that he had attacked Zhong threateningly, and now he would have to deal with Wei. This was not in his plans, and what was also unexpected was that they, the two boys, saved Zhong and joined forces with Wei. Well, he underestimated them. Kill, blow up as they wish. The boys decided to step aside when they saw Zhong walking towards them. She told Elder Zhong that she couldn't kill him. Zhong told Mr. Zhong that he would be expelled. Why was he so eager to take the title of head of the family? What difference does it make now? The Zhong family was truly great. Do you want the old man to watch it fall apart now? in the hands of two girls? Chun said that this was a pretense. He was so blinded by greed that he only relied on his patron emoji. Zhong said that Mo's ideas were not bad. He ordered him to seize the maid Li and blackmail the head of the family. And then Li asked him what else Mo had ordered. Zhong said that he had to do something so that the mistress would also fall into his hands as a slave. Luo got angry and said, "How dare he? He will tear him into thousands of pieces and not even blink an eye." Zhong said to calm down. "It's not time yet. There are too many Mo family members. If they go after them now, I'm afraid the Zhong family won't be able to withstand their wrath." Luo asked her if she wanted to just ignore it. Zhong said that she felt that if they slowed down, sooner or later, Emil would get what she deserved. Then Wei approached the elder. Zhong was frightened and asked him what he was going to do. After attacking, said that the First Lady had given permission to let him live, but at the same time, he would no longer be able to use his power. Wei shoved him underground and immediately took away his strength. After cutting his ropes, Zhong looked at himself and was very pitiful. After all, he was now a nonentity. Wei said that he had cut off all the paths. Henceforth, he would not be able to use the power of his spirit. Zhong told the elder that now that he had lost his spirit, he would continue his miserable existence on another continent. Having closed the city doors in front of him, the elder was very angry and told Zhong to just wait for him. But Lo heard all this and then suddenly released ice straight into his chest, killing him to death. Chun said that Zhong told them to leave him alive. So why did he kill him? Luo said that if they had allowed him to go in, I was afraid he would have come back. Zhong said that what Luo said might be true. Luo said that the Mo family, daring to encroach on his woman, would not get off with 10 heads. Chun said that the enemy who came would not be able to cope with them, but he advised him not to act rashly. Let him just remember that Zhong Jiang is still in Leeching. Luo said that he was just going to watch while the second lady of the Zhong family married a member of the Mo family, and then Chun said that he would not allow this to happen. In order to avoid trouble, they must do everything in such a way that even the spirits would not know and the demons would not smell it. But at that moment, the guy was being beaten on the street, and he was shouting that MOG was so mean. In order to kidnap the girl, he sent people to make a surprise attack. Ji asked Shui what he was barking about. He should be glad he paid attention to her woman, and since he liked her so much, he'll show mercy. Shui told Mo that he remembered everything that happened today. Someday, he will not leave a wet spot of it. The guys are watching him all the time, and Chun said that this Mo is making enemies everywhere, and this is their chance. Luo asked Chun, does he want to blame all the troubles on the Shui family? Chun smiled and said that he didn't say that. Chun and Luo followed him, and at the right moment, they began to attack from afar. Mo managed to run out and immediately began to attack and realized that it was an ambush for him. Mo said he was from the great Mo family in Leeching County MOG. He didn't understand where they were, but why didn't they come out and accept their punishment? Mo looked at his carriage and realized that this was the fate of living in Lichen. You drive, and halfway there, you can be robbed. As soon as you show your status, they immediately disappear. Chun decided to attack from afar and immediately released his vine at Mo. Mo was surprised to see greenery attacking him in front of him. He immediately began to dodge the attack. Mo shouted at the top of his voice, "This bastard is definitely not a ghost. Since he has abilities, let him show himself." Luo came out and said that the heir of the Mo family was so forgetful. Mo realized that Zhong's people had already come to take revenge on him. Mo said that his family, like Zhong's, belongs to the 5 great clans. Is Zhong really going to oppose him because of a woman? Luo asked why not. Either Mo or him. Chun said to Luo, didn't he want to tear him into little pieces? Luo showed his power in front of him, and Mo was surprised to see a 5-star soul slayer. Lo held out his sword and said that these were the ones who would kill him today and end this forever. And then Mo began to take the attacks, and where he could dodge. Lo didn't run after him, and immediately released a couple of frozen shurikens. But Mo saw this, and immediately used his defense. Lo started to chase him, but Mo wasn't stupid either. And in a moment, he prepared several needles. And at the right moment, he let them into battle. These were silver needles. These were Horcruxes, which were tempered for 47 or 49 days in order to destroy spiritual power. But even if this needle hits a 5-star soul destroyer, it will not kill the host, but will paralyze them for a while. Lo noticed that something was wrong here, and upon seeing the needles, he immediately used his ice defense. Mo was mortified when he saw Luo's defense. He released 2 more needles that surrounded Luo and immediately pierced his body. Luo grabbed his body and realized that they were poisonous. Mo called him a bastard and said that even if it wasn't now, he would eventually get even with them. Luo saw Mo running away and told Chun to catch up with him. Chun immediately set about this task. Chun stood in front of Mo and looked at him. Luo told him not to fight, but to just buy time for the incense. Chun didn't understand him at first and asked in surprise, "What time is it for incense?" Luo didn't waste time and used cultivation to find out that this poison is very strong. He doesn't know if Chun can handle this guy. Chun understood that the difference between the 2nd and 3rd stars was too big. He was afraid that he might die. And now he needs to find a way to hold it off until Law completely neutralizes the poison. Mo looked at Luo and thought that despite the poisoning, there was nothing he could do to prevent his recovery. And now he needs to break through the owner of 2 soul star powers. Then no one will block the way. Mo told Chun that if he let his uncle go first, he could stay alive. Chun asked him what would happen if he said no. And then Mo attacked and said that the guy would die then. Chun immediately used his defense, but he felt that this attack was very fierce. Mo said that Chun was a fool. After all, he had already reached the maximum strength of his 3-star spirit. He was already half of a 4-star spirit. It was useless to resist him. Chun now realized that the difference between the 2nd and 3rd stars was really big. And immediately, he had to use the green defense body. Mo was surprised by this and said that he never thought that a child like him would also have a Horcrux. But Mo said that, however, against him, the Soul Reaper, it doesn't matter at all. Chun also did not stand still and attacked, saying that how would he understand if he didn't try? Facing the attacks, Mo said he couldn't do it, still hoping to buy time for the incense. Chun used even more force to attack and told Mo to underestimate his vines. But then the vines were torn apart, and Chun was surprised that he crushed his vines so easily, and the sword was heading straight for him. But Chun managed to dodge, and seeing the sword next to his throat, he realized that he had escaped. Mo said that if the guy didn't leave, he would throw him aside himself. And then another attack came rushing out, and Chun dodged it. Chun instantly started spitting blood and said, "Why is this disgusting guy so strong?" But Chun kept telling himself to hold on. After all, Luo would neutralize the poison soon. Chun was constantly taking all the attacks on himself and was unable to reciprocate. Mo said that he would die if this continued. Chun tries to stand up with all his might and asks who is speaking, and then he began to hear a strange voice. The voice told him that it was he, Luo, Chun. Mo asked Chun if he still had the strength to resist. After all, his uncle was about to have a lot of fun, directing the sword energy straight at Chun. Mo, he told him to meet his doom. Luo saw this too and knew things were bad now. But Chun stood still and did not move. Luo shouted at Chun to start running. Luo told Mo that if Chun died, he would kill his entire family. Mo said that he has many 6-star spirits in his family line. Luo thinks he scared him, but then Luo decided that he needed to help Chun, and he prepared an ice projectile and fired it straight at Mo. Mo didn't notice this attack, and Luo prevented him from finishing his job. Chun looked at them and saw only a blurry picture. Luo saw that something strange was happening to Chun. His aura began to turn red. Mo turned around and also saw Chun and said that it seemed like the boy had come to his senses. And then he began to attack again. But the moment of contact, Mo flew back and did not understand what happened. Could it be that his attack was reflected? Mo didn't understand what happened and noticed that Chun had become so dried out. Then Chun began to attack and managed to tie Mo's legs with vines to immobilize him completely. Mo saw this and asked what these dark things were. And now he is losing his spiritual power. Mo didn't take any chances and immediately launched his spear straight at Chun. But the guy was possessed by black magic, and this time he was very strong. Chun applied his dark magic directly to the spear and turned it into broken iron. Mo was surprised and said that it was a 2-pronged halberd. It was made of special cast iron, and turned into a piece of metal. Mo got angry and said, "This is just a 2-star fighting spirit. How could he lose?" And then he released an internal energy that resembled the strength. Mo said that his spirit beast King Kong has awakened, and now he is very thirsty for blood. Chun, seeing this, released his black magic again, which simply took King Kong's blow and didn't even twitch. Mo didn't understand what was happening to him again, but he definitely saw that his fighting spirit was being devoured. Chun didn't stop there and started to devour Mo as well. The guy shouted that his fighting spirit was King Kong, and then Mo lost his temper and told Chun not to come near him. Evil spirit. And he even called him the devil. But Chun didn't stop there and began to completely devour Mo, leaving his body entirely in bones. After finishing everything, Chun came to his senses, and seeing Mo's body, he didn't understand. Was it he who did this to him? Chun said that he didn't expect that his 2-star boom would be able to absorb him. No one else should know about this. Chun was completely weakened and collapsed straight to the ground. Luo finished his healing and immediately headed towards him. Luo walked up to Chun and asked him how he was doing. Chun asked Luo if he was able to neutralize the poison. Luo told Chun not to say anything about it and never mention it again. Luo saw that Mo had miscalculated his strength. He was full of spiritual power, but why did he suddenly lose it and collapse? But let it be so, because everyone has secrets. They need to return home as soon as possible. Arriving home, they were met by 2 sisters. And looking at each other for a long time, they could not speak. Li said that Mo was found dead in the middle of the street this morning, and rumor has it that the Zhong family is settling scores this way. Chun and Luo made surprised faces. Chun asked, "Isn't it good that this guy died?" Zhong told the boys, "Mo's death was their doing, wasn't it?" Luo yawned and said it wasn't him. It was Chun who killed young Master Mo. Li asked Mr. Luo if it was possible to shift all the blame to Chun alone. Chun said that it was true. Young Master Mo has one of the strongest 4-star martial spirits, but he only has the second one. How could he possibly resist him? Li asked him how he knew about this. Besides, right after Elder Zhong's trial yesterday, the 2 of them mysteriously disappeared, and then Chun realized that things were bad for them. After all, in trying to slip away, he had actually let it slip. Luo stood up and said that about this, he went out drinking yesterday. Chun said everything correctly. Luo took him out drinking in Zue yesterday and there. Just then, someone was talking about the heir of the Mo family. Then Luo got angry and told Chun that he was talking too much. Zhong couldn't help but grab his ear. She said that Zue was a famous brothel, and Luo actually took little Chun to drink wine with the prostitutes. Luo told Zhong to listen to him and not trust him blindly. Zhong told Chun that if he had any questions, he could come directly to Lu. And then Luo got offended and said that why no one believes him. Chun said that this Mo found enemies for himself. It is not surprising that he was killed, but now little sister Zhong will be able to live in peace. Chun said that this was a matter of special importance. So why don't he and Lu go and scout out the situation? The head of the Mo family told Shui Cohen that she would pay with her life for what they did. If they did not hand over Shui, then he could look after good coffins for their entire family. The head of the Cu family said that the case had not yet been solved, but he was already standing in front of the Shui family's door and trying to blame them for everything. Mo said that Ji had met Shui that night. Then he was found murdered. If not Shui, then who? Luo said that it was said that the head of the Mo family had brought people to the doors of the Shui palace for an investigation since early morning. Chun said that the Mo family suspected Shui, so they came to look for him at the Shui family. Luo told Chun that it was a setup and said that they were good friends. At this time, Zhong told Lu that she still felt that the boys were involved in Mo's death. But then someone ran up and shouted to the city ruler. And then the elder came and told Mrs. Zhong that they had not seen each other for a long time. Entering the room, Lu told her sister that during the pressure on the Zhong family from other clans, the ruler did not even bat an eye. So why did he come today? Zhong told Lu to be quiet. The ruler said that this time the honorable sovereign came to check the rulers, namely, how they handle their duties. Examination asked Lu and sister. The ruler said that the 10 emperors of Tian-Do have rankings, according to which, every 3 years, a county examination is held. Leeching has been at the bottom for almost 30 years, The exam is approaching. If Leeching ends up in the bottom this year, it will be excluded from the top 10 royal capitals. Liu asked if it was possible to restore Leeching to its former glory with the help of the 5 great clans. The ruler said that the exam is a battle between the young generations. The 5 families are relatively young clans, with a lack of experience. If you pay attention, among all the families in Leeching, only the Zhong family has the appropriate skills and knowledge. Zhong realized that the city ruler had. The ruler said that the Zhong family would be in charge of the event related to the competition to be selected as one of the 10 places to hold the examination. The ruler said that he hoped that they would live up to his expectations. Zhong asked, would the Zhong family be responsible? The next day, a lot of people had gathered in the Zhong kingdom, and most of the boxes were scattered all over the place. By that time, the guys were returning from reconnaissance and were surprised by this. Chen was surprised and said, where did so many boxes come from? Liu ran up and said with joy that these were all generous gifts from the clans. Chen asked in surprise, why did they suddenly bring gifts to the Zhong family? The elder sister said that they should discuss it inside, sitting down in their seats. Zhong said that their family was responsible for selecting participants for the tournament. The big houses had received news of this, and now, one after another, they were fawning and bringing gifts. Luo said that the ruler had handed over all matters regarding the tournament to the Zhong family. If Leeching could stand the test, then the Zhong family would finally rise, in a good way, of course. Chen asked why the ruler appointed the declining Zhong family to such an important task, and not one of the 5 great clans. Zhong said that she asked the same question to the ruler. He said that each of the 5 great clans disliked each other, and the ruler also heard about the conflict between the Mo and Xue families. If we leave it to them, there will be no guarantee that Leeching will not be doomed. Chen cried out that if the 5 great clans were dissatisfied with the choice of ruler and began to put a spoke in the wheel, wouldn't the Zhong family then be doomed? Luo told him not to worry about it. They were all a bunch of people without strong beliefs. The Zhong family had the blessing of the ruler, so they wouldn't dare touch them. But then a servant burst in and bowed to the first lady and told her that the head of the Mo clan had come to see her. When the guy entered, he said that he was on behalf of the ML clan, and he had come to greet her. Their leader asked me to convey that if the young lady was unable to handle the tournament, the Mo family could take on some of the responsibilities. Chen was surprised and asked, what is this? Does the Mo clan have time to worry about the Zhong family's affairs? Lo butted into the conversation and said that the heir's bones had already cooled, and the killer had still not been found. And for the sake of the tournament, they decided to ignore the funeral of their own son. The guy looked at Luo angrily and said that all the respected people had gathered in Leeching, but he didn't know which family the guy belonged to. Luo took hold of his cup of tea and asked if a lowly manager could talk to him. The second guy got angry and said to the daredevil, how dare he speak so unceremoniously to a representative of the Mo clan? The Mo family sincerely wants to support them, but this man is too arrogant, so they suggest kicking him out. But Zhong only smiled at this and said nothing. Did the guy tell Luo to get out of here himself? Lo said that there was a loyal dog standing in front of him. Let him bring him the ball immediately. The guy said that ever since he entered the 4-star martial soul stage, he had not suffered such humiliation in Baishan. And a brat like this arrogant guy will always beg him to kill. The guy pounced on Lo, but didn't understand what he was going to run into. Lo took his hand and twisted it, saying that he was too slow. Lo said that now in front of him stands a show-off who can't even hit properly. And such little boys from the Mo clan. How dare he be so impudent in the presence of his superiors? The boy asked His Excellency if he wasn't afraid of causing displeasure from the Mo clan. Zhong stood up and said, Luo Moz is an honored guest of Zhong Palace, the prince of the Luo clan. And then the boys were completely surprised when they heard that the heir of the Luo clan from the imperial city was standing in front of them. The boy asked the chief manager how influential the Luo family was in the imperial city. The manager was so ashamed that he told the boy to open his eyes wide. The Luo clan of the imperial city is one of the greatest families in the entire Tian Empire, true aristocrats. And how the hell did he dare to show such insolence towards the heir of a great family? The manager bowed and said that the Mo family had unintentionally offended the genius heir and hoped that Prince Luo would show mercy. Zhong said that the Mo clan's manager did this unintentionally. she is not against resolving this peacefully. But what does the prince think about it? Luo said that since Madame Zhong had this opinion, he would not argue, and now it was time for them to go home. The manager bowed in shame and said goodbye to Prince Luo and Lady Zhong. The manager went outside and thought, and did not expect that the withered Zhong family would cooperate with the sea otter Luo from the imperial city. And now, this is a very important event that should be reported to Mr. M.O. Luo told Zhong that it seemed like the M.O. representatives left angry, right? Zhong said that he was just making fun of them, so there was nothing to praise him for. Qin saw that there was a spark between them, and, taking Lu with him, they went to look at the gifts. Luo asked Zhong what she was upset about. Zhong said that in previous years of the tournament, the age of the participants was not allowed to exceed 16 years, but there were very few people of that age in Leeching. With less than 2 months left until the tournament, those 10 places need to be carefully studied. Luo looked at the front and said, "There are 2 candidates right in front of them." Chung asked him, "Is he talking about Li Chun?" Zhong said that Li's girl has good potential. She has already acquired 3-link martial arts. Chun is also very talented, but Chun has a 2-star fighting spirit, and in order to participate in the tournament, he must have at least a 3rd. Luo told her that she shouldn't underestimate this child. The heir of the M.O. family is a good example. Zhong asked in surprise, "So is it true that Chun killed M.O.?" Luo said that although he did not see how it happened, M.O. definitely died at his hands. Chun was alone in the mountain range when the beast spirit was about to awaken, but there was not a scratch on the boy. He could not be considered weak. Zhong said that since Chun is not from Lycan, there might be problems. Luo asked, "So what?" Every city invites foreigners to help in the tournament. If Chun takes part in this war, the outcome of the tournament could be quite unexpected. Luo came closer to her and said that he could of course help her using the Luo clan's name, but he knew about her self-esteem, so he would just silently watch everything that was happening. Luo placed his hands on her arms and said that she was his weakness and he would never allow anyone to hurt her. Zhong blushed and said, "Who would want to be with such a slacker?" Luo said nothing and also laughed in response. Chun took Li and brought him to a cafe to rest a bit and gain strength, and immediately ordered them tea. The cafe said that a tournament would be held soon, and Leeching is still supported by the 4 great families. Li said that this year's tournament is very important for Leeching. The ruler has entrusted this matter to the Zhong family. If they fail, the consequences will be serious. Chun said Leeching is a big city with a population of 1 million people. But there are only 10 places that can be counted with your eyes closed. On the street, 2 guys asked what kind of family this Zhong is. The Su family is at the top, among the second classes in Leeching, and is higher in status than the Zhong clan. The heir of the Su family asked why such an honor as hosting the tournament fell to them. The heir of the Bai Yin clan said that Zhong Xian relied on her feminine charms to become a mistress, and now she is latched onto the Luo clan. Who knows what kind of shameful deeds they are doing? Then Li heard everything and asked the guys what nonsense they were talking about. Su said, "Isn't this the second lady of the Zhong clan? Does she have time to go to taverns? Wouldn't it be better for her to help her sister prepare for the tournament?" Oh, that's right. Now that the Zhong clan is under the protection of the Luo family, there are people willing to take care of everything, so there is plenty of time to meet lovers. But then Qin stood up and asked Li's sister if he could beat them. Li told him not to be so impulsive. They both had 3-link martial spirits. He was no match for them. Shui started laughing loudly and saying that he didn't know where this guy came from, but said that he wanted to beat them up. Shui patted Qin's face and said that his girlfriend knew that he couldn't handle them, so she allowed him to speak so boldly. Shui moved to Li and said that her sister has the blood of 2 great clans. She must be excellent in many things, and if she's her younger sister, then she's not bad either. Why would she bother with this lowborn guy when she could serve him? Qin didn't like this and couldn't stand it for long. He released his vine and immediately caught Shui from all sides. I stood to the side and said to Chun, "How dare he attack so suddenly?" Chun immediately stopped talking to him and played with his Shui like a ball, breaking everything in his body. After bringing Shui to death, Chun asked, "Does anyone else want to die?" Just try to say something else. Li told Chun that this Su Yu was the heir of the direct line of the Su clan, Leeching City, but Chun took his life. Chun told her to calm down. This guy is a 3-star fighting spirit. he won't be killed so easily. The guy said that the Su family is famous for their good deeds, while the Zhong clan is famous for their despotism. Aren't they afraid of incurring everyone's wrath? Chen asked him if he had any problems. The guy gathered his strength and attacked, saying that today he would teach him a lesson. Li told Chen to be careful. This is a unique, forgotten disciple of the Bai clan. One step of his turns into 100 in an instant. But then Chen used his vine, but without hitting the guy, he realized that he was very fast. I stood in front of Chen and asked him, "Is that all he can do?" And then he launched an attack, but Chen didn't notice. I said that Chen was weak. He just launched a surprise attack on Su with his measly 2-star spirit. Unheard of impudence. Li pulled Chen to his feet and began to worry. Chen said that everything was fine, so she shouldn't worry. Chen thought there was only 1 star between him and the guy, but there was already such a difference. But luckily, he activated his power in time and absorbed most of the blow. Otherwise, he could have died. I told Chen that he hit him, but why did the guy survive? Chen said that his blow was as if it was done by a woman. Any more questions? Bai became even more angry about this and told Chen that he was tired of living in general. But then Li stepped in and said enough. She said to Bai Yu, "Wasn't he the one who was pressuring and insulting her just now, talking about the Zhong family?" Bai laughed and said that the second lady was saying very funny things, despite the fragmentation and almost complete extinction of the Zhong clan. Although this will happen soon anyway. Li got angry and started pointing at the guy. I asked her, "What's wrong? Did he say something wrong?" Chen didn't like this. He immediately grabbed him by the throat at the speed of light and began to slowly strangle him. Chen looked into his eyes and told Bai Yu that he was the one who really dreamed of death, but couldn't find it. Bai didn't understand what was going on and asked Chen what he was doing. The guys asked where this guy even came from. His 2-star fighting spirit was so strong. Li asked, "How can this be? The difference between 2 and 3 stars. But then Su stood up and said, "What a powerful spirit." He trapped Bai and cut off all his escape routes, making him suffer. Su told Chen to look at him and call him a damn bastard. Let him just try to attack him. Bai let him kill him. The more painfully, the better. Li told Su that if Chen died, she would never let them go just like that. They would all pay for it. But then the hole began to open. Su asked Bai in joy, did he kill him? But then everything started to become clear, and Bai's body was emaciated to the bone. And then Su was upset that Bai was dead. Shui told Zhongli that she had offended 2 families, the Su and the Bai, and so they would not make peace. Li looked at Chen and asked him if he was okay. Chen couldn't say a word as he collapsed into her arms, but he still managed to tell her that he had defeated that vile guy. Li, with tears in her eyes, begged him to get up, and then Li managed to drag Chen to her home. Opening the door, she started shouting to her sister. Zhong asked her what happened. Li told them to act quickly. They needed to help Chen, and immediately the guys started acting and put Chen on the bed. Zhong now knew and was surprised that Chen was able to kill Bai and injure Su. Li said that these second-class families, Bai and Su, they definitely won't let things slide. Luo said that it was okay if they were provoked and acted recklessly. Then they would show them what methods the Luo clan would use in such situation. Zhong told Li that Chen had no external injuries, but that excessive use of martial spirit had caused his pulse to become abnormal. He needed to get a good rest. Li couldn't leave him alone because he stood up for her in that brothel. But she had to leave so Chen could rest. Chen was in great pain. After all, his inner strength was trying to come out, and he decided to cultivate it. Chen suddenly woke up and realized that using the spirit and then absorbing it from other people led to a sharp increase in spiritual power. He needed to cleanse it, but his body might not be able to withstand it, and he would be left disabled. And now he decided that he needed to try to break into the 3-link kingdom of the soul a little earlier. Raising both hands up, Chen was very eager to break through. And at that moment, it all happened. A flashing lightning fell directly into Chen's house where he was resting. The boys didn't leave either, and then they were surprised when they saw the lightning. Li asked them what it was. It was heading for Chen's room. Chen realized that he could do it, and he did not give up and continue to break through. Chen took on such a powerful electric current and saw that the power of the spirit of heaven and earth was it. The power of the lightning was so great that Chen had difficulty doing this. But then he decided to immerse himself in a cocoon of vines. Having managed to break through it, Chen thought that after tempering the spirit of heaven and earth, not only had the strength doubled, but the soul sea had also awakened, turning into a pill. Chun smiled and said that it was no wonder that a 3-star spirit was far superior to a 2-star spirit. Turning into a pill was equivalent to expanding the soul energy throughout the entire body. If he hadn't absorbed enough energy earlier, he wouldn't have been able to obtain a 3-star spirit. And now that he has a 3-star spirit, he needs to try all the techniques, and immediately released the first spirit. After testing it in practice, Chun was surprised that his first spirit had actually changed. In addition to the poison, even with a 4-star spirit, won't be able to resist him. But he wonders if soul absorption is transformative, and he immediately decides to try it. After doing this, Chun realized that he had indeed appropriated the power of the spirit of heaven and earth in order to replenish his energy. But wouldn't that mean that when he fights, he won't have to worry about the amount of energy he consumes anymore? Chun said that although he wouldn't be able to use the full power of the second martial spirit, at least he could control it without worrying about suddenly losing control. But then Lee ran in screaming about Chun. She asked him if he was okay. Chun smiled and said he was okay. He was just practicing. Sitting down at the table, Chun asked sister Lee what about the Sioux and by families, if they were angry with him because of him. Luo said that he heard that Sioux died from poison halfway. Luo's heir helped them settle the matter. Zhong understood and said that it was okay because Chun stood up for the Zhong clan. But then a serious conversation came up, and Zhong told Lee and Chun that she needed to discuss something with them. Chun happily told sister Zhong not to delay and to tell it like it was. Zhong listed all the clans for the tournament, and at the end said that there were still 4 people who would act on behalf of the ruler. There were exactly 2 spots left, and she hoped that they would be able to take them. Lee immediately said that there was no problem. But Chun is not from Leeching. She is worried about this. Chun told Zhongli's sister not to worry. If she goes, then he will too. Zhong said that was great. That way, there will be 10 people competing in the tournament. And then, on the announcement, people learned that all 10 participants in the tournament had been selected. How could it be that only 2 would compete from the Zhong family? The indignant young man said that the declining Zhong family took up 1/5 of the number of participants. Although the tournament is related to the glorification of Leeching, but he, Zhang Qian, refuses to accept them. And then all the people together said that they were against it, and they decided to go to the Zhong clan and tell them everything. Arriving at the clan's door, they began to ask, why does the Zhong family have 2 members? They are unhappy with this. Let the one named Luo Chun come out. A person no one knows about will represent Leeching. What nonsense! Who is this crowd causing trouble? Luo said to Chun, if he is angry, why is he doing it here and not on the street? Chun said that now that the participants have already been chosen, why are they shouting? Let them get out of here. They will only make him nervous. Luo said that there was still a month left before the tournament. Chun would still sit in the Zhong mansion without going outside at all. Why not do it this way? Luo thought that this brat was really cheeky. Luo said he felt like they just didn't know what Chun was capable of. He had to go out there and take them all down to live up to his reputation. There are too many troublemakers outside. Do you think they all came to be beaten by him? Luo said that Chun shouldn't blame him for this, that he didn't tell him about this tournament rule. The participants had already been chosen, but the decision could be contested by entering the battle. Did all these people come here to challenge him? And then Zhang again shouted for the one whose name was Chun to come out. He, the young master, had come to challenge him. Luo told Chun that everyone wanted to see him. Will he still be afraid? Chun used his powers and said that it would never end. Then Chun opened the door and asked who was there to challenge him. Zhang asked Chun if he could handle Qian, the owner of the 2-star martial spirit. This guy doesn't have the strength to compete with me. Zhang immediately decided to attack and told Chun not to look at him with such arrogance. Chun smiled and said that he saw that he had quite a strong spirit. It seemed that he had been motivated for a long time. But Chun released his spiritual spirit and asked the boy if this was all he could do. Chun used his vine attack and immediately sealed the guy into a pillar, holding him high off the ground. Chun said he told the guy he couldn't stand up to him, but the guy in the crowd said that it seems like this guy Chun is a little different for what they say about him. Wei Hao said that he might have been able to defeat the owner of the 2-star spirit, but in terms of the tournament, He was unworthy. The guy said that with him the tournament would definitely go well and Leeching would become famous. If the Zhong family invited him to participate just for the sake of numbers, then he shouldn't waste the place in vain. Is he trying to exhaust him? Of course he apologizes. This battle was very fierce, so he's a little tired. He should go back and rest. How dare he talk to them like that? He should give up the tournament. A fly in the ointment. Let Leeching not disgrace them. Chen got angry and said that they were rabble, and now he refuses to fight to the death. Wei attacked him and said that if Chen gave up his place in the tournament, he would spare his life. But then the man stood up for them and told them to stop it right there. He stood in the middle of both of them and stood there until the very end. They all immediately saw this man and bowed and said that they greeted the ruler. The ruler said that in a few days there would be a banquet here, the purpose of which would be to get to know each other and communicate more closely. But if after that they still remain with their opinions, they could challenge anyone they wanted. Chen asked the boy, did he hear? He'll have to refrain from attacking. After all, no one will be able to stop them after that. Wei said that this guy is just afraid of fighting him. Zhang Tao said that it was okay. On the day of the feast, they would change their minds and free up a place in the tournament. Li brought Chun to the big festival that evening. Chun said that he never thought the Lantern Festival would be so lively. Li said that this year's Lantern Festival is the most grandiose in the last 10 years. In addition to quizzes, there will also be a performance. Then Li pulled Chun and said that they needed to see everything. The seller asked, little brother, don't you want to guess the riddle with the lanterns? Most people are not able to decipher them, so the gifts are more generous than anywhere else. Of course, the conditions are such that for one correctly guessed riddle, you will receive 1,000 silver coins, as well as more attempts. What would happen for a larger amount? And then Chun began to guess everything. After all, he saw what was where and how. The seller was surprised and realized that the guy had answered everything correctly. Didn't any of the riddles really stump him? Chun earned a bag of money and happily walked on, while Li, standing next to him, was surprised by his luck. He told Chun that the holidays always bring up family. Chun said that a long time had passed. He had not had a home for a long time. Li told him that for now on this was his home. As long as she is here, she will always accompany him to the Mid-Autumn Festival. Chun was glad to hear these words and hugged her and said that they had reached an agreement. Chun slammed all the doors and heard the guy saying that Chun was a cowardly dog. If he was afraid, he would shit himself during the feast. Luo said that the ruler said that there would be sparring during the banquet. What does Chun plan to do? Chun said he would just beat them all up. Luo said Chun was really reckless. He should be careful. Just try not to lose. Chun asked, what other loss? Aren't the 10 participants already confirmed? Luo said that Chun actually thought that this would be a simple exchange of experiences. As far as he knows, before each tournament, there is a banquet, which can be attended not only by respected individuals, but also by young, talented people. Chun said that in that case, there would be countless duels. What is he saying? Luo asked. Lo told him not to worry. If he showed them his strength, nothing would happen. On the contrary, when the places were finally distributed, the participants would be rewarded. Will they reward? Chun asked. Luo said yes, for those who will represent Leeching. The ruler will make an exception and open the palace of martial spirit. What kind of spirit palace? Did Chun ask. Luo said that each of the 10 imperial cities under the rule of the imperial city of Tiandu belong to one of the 10 territorial jurisdictions. And in each of these cities, there is a spirit palace. It contains a directory that contains 1/10 of all the types of spirits in the imperial city of Tiandu. And also, there's a 99% chance that he will find information about all the abilities of these spirits. Then Chin's eyes lit up and he asked, is this true? Then this is a great opportunity to get into this palace. Luo said that it was true. It was the palace of souls that everyone was so fascinated with, because whoever entered it would become one of the most brilliant people in Leeching. But let you not think that everything was so simple. Chan said that since this spirit palace is only open for 1 hour, no one would even think of going there just like that, right? Luo asked Shun, did he really think that the guards in the palace were just decoration? The martial spirit palace was very well guarded by dark guards. Not only is it impossible to steal anything, but it is also impossible to just approach it. It will be destroyed in an instant. Chun said that there were a huge number of different spirits on the martial spirit continent. If he could find out a little more about their types and capabilities in the upcoming battles, you will be able to immediately understand all the abilities of the spirit, so everything will work out. The main thing is to prepare well. Luo said that Chun was so interested in the martial spirits and their abilities, he didn't just get carried away by it. He was afraid of not being able to break through. What do you mean? Chun asked. It didn't take him that long to get a 2-star. The difference between the stars is too great. And now he has a difficult path to go. So let him not act impulsively. Chun immediately looked at the martial spirit palace and said that it meant he would be able to handle it 100%. The next day, they all gathered at the palace and waited for further orders. Chun said that the palace government guards deserve their fame, and their fierce expressions are truly terrifying. Zhong said that the responsibility for sparring was hers, so she needed to go to the inner palace to prepare something. And there is still some time before the banquet. They can take a walk, but let them remember, under no circumstances to enter into conflicts. Li told her sister that she knew, and she would make sure to keep an eye on Chun so that he would not get into trouble. Li said that if Leeching does not win this year, it will be excluded from the top 10 imperial cities, so this may be its last performance. Chun took her hand and told her not to worry. Everything would definitely be fine. At the meeting, a girl came up to them and said that the distribution of places in this tournament was already very unfair. The Zhong clan, relying on its power, took 2 whole places for itself. She had never heard of this name before. How could she find this boy? With such a person, it would be shameful to be among the best. What a coincidence. Isn't it Mrs. Zhong and Chun? Ready for today's battle? Li said that troubles found them. Zhang said that if they didn't want to be disgraced at the banquet, they should take the initiative to leave their seats and go. Chun asked what's wrong with him. Why are all Leeching's geniuses mentally retarded? Li said that although the Zheng family was ranked at the end of the 5 major clans, they shouldn't be so picky. Chun grabbed Li and said that it was time for them to go. And then Zheng did not remain silent and asked them, why were they afraid? Chun told him that if he wanted to fight him, he should wait until today's banquet. Zhang said the ruler had already given orders that everything would be optional until the official opening. Chun said that he wanted to settle this conflict after all. Now that Zheng told him about it, he can't back down, but he asked him not to complain later. Zheng immediately showed his firepower and attacked. He said that this was beyond the impudence he had received, but then Lo came and stopped them. He told them to stop immediately. How could they behave like that in the ruler's palace? The guy immediately introduced himself as the respected Zheng from the Zheng clan, the head of the 5 great families, and he wouldn't dare contradict him. But it seemed he's not the only one with complaints. Right, Mo Chung? Then Mo got angry and told Chun to give him Li. She knew that Mo was one of the most outstanding people in Leeching. If he got angry, I was afraid that Chun might get hurt. Mo said that Chun should give it to him. Otherwise, he shouldn't complain later that he'll beat him up. Chun said that this Mo doesn't like Zhong Li's little sister. Mo said that they have been engaged since childhood. They grew up together. He knows Li better than anyone. Li saw that Mo was angry. Chun would be hurt if this continued. And then she stood between them and told them to stop this row. Chun asked Li if she was protecting him. Li said no. Zhang chimed in and said that they grew up together, so it was natural that they were in love with each other. And Chun had only gone halfway. Who did he think he was? And then Chun got angry and told him to shut his mouth. Chun shot his vine straight at Zhang. The guy was surprised to see the spirit of plants and realized that Chun was not such a loser. Chun asked little sister Li if she really liked this oaf. Then Li tried to say something, but Chun didn't listen and ran away. The guy asked Gu why he was chasing that girl. Wasn't Hai looking for someone else? Gu said he thought she was special. Chun ran with his eyes closed, and when he stopped, he looked around and couldn't figure out where he was. He didn't pay attention to anything while he was running, and then he heard someone shouting for the scum to hurry up. Chun decided to follow and smelled the rich scent of blood. Several soldiers ran into the city and said that they were wasting time and needed to hurry. Chun realized that someone had killed the guards of the royal palace. Perhaps the killer would come to the banquet, and now he decided he needed to check. While checking, he noticed that they were gone. What if they continued killing? And then someone pointed a sword at him and said that it was the inner palace guard. And what was this guy doing here? Chun turned around and saw a woman. This girl was the commander of the Dark Guards. Chun told her to listen to him, because this is not the one they are looking for. And then the guy told Commander Li that he asked her to hand this guy over to him. he himself would drown him in the water prison. Chen immediately realized that it was breath and blood. Yes, these are the killers. Lee said that Commander Shang was patrolling the main hall. The guy said that the main hall was short of manpower. The leader ordered Commander Lee to bring Ping Tianwei to him, and he was temporarily taken under guard by the inner palace. The boy told her to go through. Lee said that the inner palace had always been hers. Chen immediately realized that this Commander Shang was very troublesome. Commander Lee did not seem to share their interests. If he wanted to stop their plot, he had to win Commander Lee's trust. Commander Shang said someone should apprehend this boy and kill him. He's a participant in the tournament. He's just a little lost. Shang said the main hall is across the hall from here. How can you get lost here? He thinks this guy is a spy. Chen told Lee to believe him. He was definitely not lying to her. He got lost around the palace, then found the guards killed, went after the killers. That's how he ended up here. Lee said that the dark guards are guarding the ruler's palace. Does he know what will happen if he talks nonsense? Chun told his beautiful sister that he was not lying. There was a whole mountain of corpses behind the garden. Shang asked him what kind of nonsense he was talking about. In order to seize him, Lee told him to wait. This is a very serious matter. At the moment, the main hall is preparing for the banquet. She must make sure of everything herself. Lee said she was giving the boy a chance to atone for his sins, so let him show the way. Shang said that in that case, let the rascal show them the way. But if the corpses he spoke of were not there, he would be considered a spy. Arriving at the place, Lee asked Chun, "Is this really in the garden?" And then Chun looked around, and there was no one there. Chun understood and saw that there had definitely been a wall here before. Disappeared? And there were no corpses either. Shan said that this guy was a bastard because he managed to lie to them. And where was the wall? According to him. And then he ordered his men to grab him. Lee stood up for the guy and told Shan to wait. They hadn't really checked anything. Why was Commander Shan so eager to finish the guy off? Besides, she's responsible for this part of the palace. Therefore, it is up to her to decide whether the guy should kill himself. Shan didn't like her words and pretended to be calm. Chung knew that the underground cave was so confusing that only he could remember the way. But what can we say about the tiny territory of the palace? He can't be mistaken because he was here and saw everything. Chung said that in any case, it happened somewhere here, and he invited his beautiful sister to step aside and watch together. Lee asked him menacingly if he was going to run away and immediately pointed her sword straight at the guy and said how could this be possible? Lee couldn't help but tell him to shut up. But if she found out that the guy was lying to her, she would personally send him to prison for life. They went their separate ways and started looking for clues. Chun pretended to be watching everything. Shan thought that the banquet was about to begin. He had no time for their games. He looked at his servant, gave him a hint, and a portal immediately opened. Chun felt that something had happened, and it was behind him. Lee found the evidence and saw that it was blood. Lee said that it seemed like the guy wasn't lying. Someone was really killed here. Chun immediately shouted to his beautiful sister. Lee turned around in surprise and asked, what happened? What was he panicking about? And couldn't understand what was going on. Chun said that the road had disappeared. Lee asked him what he was so surprised about. Wasn't he one of the 10 participants? And wondered where it came from. She immediately shouted to Commander Shan. Shang stood on the other side and said to Commander Lee, why did the wall appear out of nowhere? Was she stepping on some kind of machinery? Let her wait a little while until he found someone who could help them. Chin thought about it and realized that it seemed like Commander Shang had deliberately lured them into a trap to hide something. Apparently, the relationship between the two is not very good. He should try to talk to her. Chin asked Lee if she could somehow break the wall. Lee took hold of her sword and told him to move away. Now she would try to do it. Lee looked at all this with her magic eye and immediately turned into a fire girl. Chun looked at all this and realized that she was a 5-star sword spirit. No wonder she was so perceptive. Lee at this time used the sword art technique and sent her into the wall with destruction. Chun was surprised and said that the beautiful sister was strong. Even if this sword had an ordinary spirit, the threat to life would not go away. Lee said that even though she used her fighting spirit, she couldn't break the wall. She told the guy that she couldn't destroy it. What if we used several swords? Lee understood that using only one sword would already consume a third of her strength. If the soul power in the body was depleted, it would not lead to anything good. Lee said they needed to stop talking and see if there was some other mechanism at work. Chun hit the rock and told his pretty sister that it looked like there was something inside this mountain. Lee took out her sword and immediately broke the mountain. They were surprised by what they saw, because these were the dark guards. Apparently, they were killed silently. Lee looked around and said that the matter did not require delay. They must immediately report this to the ruler. Chun said that they were trapped, and Commander Shang had disappeared somewhere. How would they get to the palace? Lee said that their way was blocked by a wall that appeared out of nowhere. There are corpses inside this rock, which is also very suspicious, and she suggested that the guy take a look around. Lee walked deep into the cliff and then suddenly stopped, and Chun ran right into her. He asked her why she stopped. Lee looked at her strangely and said that there was no road further. It was either filled with rocks or it was a trap again. Chun said that the ruler's palace had excellent security. How could the assassins even get in here? Lee said that it simply couldn't be. Judging by the number of corpses, there were enough murderers here. How could they have mixed in with the common people in the palace? Chun thought about the murderers and corpses. Maybe there was a tunnel in this rock. Lee said that now that there were a lot of murderers walking around the palace, they just couldn't get stuck here. They need to get out of here as soon as possible. The banquet is about to start. Chun Yao decided to take on this responsibility and used his magic. Lee immediately saw that the guy had decided to use his fighting spirit to explore the cave. He only had 3 stars, but he already had such a huge spirit. Chun released his vine, and with it, he found a loophole in this stone. And then with a flick of his fingers, he broke it. Lee was surprised that the guy could do such a thing. And after opening the exit for them, they were able to find him. As she expected, another mechanism. Chun said that this is a secret passage. Who knows? Maybe it will lead them outside. They walked into it without fear, but after going up a few steps it closed and the torches fell from their hands. Chun ran back, hoping that he was imagining things, but he hit a rock. Chun said that it seemed that it could only be opened from the outside, and told Lee that they had no escape route. Lee headed for the exit and found the torch there. Lee said it was about the protection and safety of the royal palace. Her level is higher than the guy's. She will lead. Let the guy follow her, but let it be on guard. As she went deeper into the tunnel, Lee asked the boy if he thought it was getting colder and colder. Chun knew that he had indeed felt a chill when he entered the secret passage, but it seemed like he had been swallowed by a spirit. Could that be why he couldn't feel anything? Chung understood that Fan had used up a lot of her spirit to destroy the wall, but was now gradually slowing down. She apparently didn't have enough strength to continue fighting the cold. Chun was distracted, and out of the corner of his eye he saw Lee faint from the cold. Chun caught her and asked what was wrong with her. Why was she so cold? Lee said that everything was fine. Most likely it was this frost that was to blame. Let the guy go first. She would catch up with him. How can this be called a good state? Chung felt her body and said that this equipment was frozen and she needed to take it off quickly. Lee told the boy not to worry about her. The assassin's target must be the martial spirit palace. The most important thing is to report everything to the ruler. Let Chung run quickly. Chung said that she was right. The killer's target was the spirit palace, but compared to the beautiful little sister, the spirit palace wasn't that important. Chung didn't wait for her to die, but immediately took out all her equipment so that she could relax a little. Chung came to her lips and told her not to move. And with a movement of his hand, he would rid her of this cold. Lee began to feel her body warming up, and she was already warm. Lee asked him why he was sucking in the cold air. Was he looking for death? Chung smiled and said, how else could he save her? And then he released all the cold air he had absorbed. Chung healed her and said that they couldn't stay here for long. It was time for them to move on. Chung fell to his knees from the intense cold that he sucked out, but did not release completely. Lee asked him what was wrong with him. Chung realized that he had no control over the absorption of the cold. Having consumed too much, he was now unable to free himself from it. Chung was getting worse and worse. Lee grabbed him and told him not to stand there, but to get up. Lee saw that Chin's cheek was frozen, and it was all due to the cold air. This boy actually absorbed all the cold to save her. How thoughtless. After all, she understood that if they stayed here any longer, they would die. She had to find a way to get out of here. Chung was getting worse all this time, as the cold covered his entire body and slowed his breathing. Chung entered his subconscious and saw that this cold was hard to overcome, and it also destroyed the soul. And he was not in that state now. Chung decided to use his powers to devour the fighting spirit. but he still couldn't come to his senses. Lee saw that there was a room ahead that looked like an exit. It was built with chains all along the wall. Lee heard that the cold air, the huge tomb, the evil martial spirit masters who had heard of the immortality pills always liked this kind of place. But then the thought occurred to Lee that this was the lair of the owners of evil spirits. The intense cold penetrated into this room less and less. Lee put Chin in a comfortable place for her and covered him with clothes. Chin said that he was very cold, but suddenly something indescribable began to happen inside the room. Many body parts began to come out. Lee noticed this moment and was surprised herself. And then dozens of evil martial spirit masters appeared. The warrior spoke to the vile old man, but he is still alive. The old man did not tolerate such disrespect and immediately attacked. The warrior didn't like this and immediately called him an old fart. Apparently, the old man wanted to die. The old man just laughed at this and said that he was a disgusting old man. All these toys would not help him. They would only rot during the explosion. But then a woman appeared in front of him who was lying on the bed. She told them that they had not seen each other for a long time. She missed them very much. The old man and the warrior were surprised, and Gue asked, "Didn't she die?" But where was Lao Si then? Gue said that Lao had long since infiltrated the martial spirit palace and was serving the city leader. The old man asked her, "Is this some kind of joke?" Before they, the 5 devils, had joined forces but had not even touched the doors of the spirit palace. Their leader died at the hands of the ruler of the city of Lee. So how could Lao Si fool the palace guards? Lee looked at everything and was surprised that they actually existed. She thought that they were just legends. Chung came to his senses and asked, "What kind of legends?" Lee asked him if he was awake. But how did he feel after that? Chung said that everything was fine. He had recovered after resting. Chung understood that although the spirit eater was contrary to the laws of nature, it was still the first form of spirit. So he was able to absorb the damned air, but his internal organs were damaged. But there are more important things. Chung asked the girl who they were. Lee said that they were among the top 10 most wanted criminals in Tiandu, 5 evil spirits that attacked the palace. Gue is ranked 2nd among the 7-star spiritualists. She is extremely charming. According to the data, she is about 100 years old. She is good at deception and seduction. The ghost old man is ranked 3rd among the 5-star cultivators. He controls souls and manipulates the bodies of the dead. Extremely dangerous. Although the toy is at the bottom of this rating, he is an excellent shooter and is capable of inflicting the most damage out of the 5. Who possessed 8 stars, was beheaded by the ruler of the city. Currently missing is Lao Si, who loves collecting masks. She's also very good at disguise. She doesn't even know what they're planning. Although the palace is well guarded, the defenses have weakened in the last few years. Lee said that she was offering to join Lao Si. Gue pulled out the mask and threw it into the sky. Lee was surprised to see this. She asked if this was Consort Si. Gue said that it was time to avenge the leader. Lee said that Lady Si was the city ruler's favorite concubine, and she never expected that Gue would take on her appearance. Besides, if you listen to them, their 1,000-faced leader, in that case, it's not surprising that Commander Shang removed her from guarding the inner part of the palace. Chang said that he had previously sensed that Commander Shang had the same spiritual energy as those enemies. It was highly likely that he was the one who sent the assassins. Lee said that Commander Shang kept 1/3 of the guards in the ruler's palace. If everyone had gathered, then a sea of blood would have surely been spilled. Lee started denying and said she wouldn't allow it. Chung told her to be patient. There is no evidence at this point that they are related, and if the owners of evil spirits notice them, they won't be able to get out alive. The old man asked Gue. Gue said that currently 1/3 of the Dark Guards are in C's hands, and there are also 100 dead soldiers. Gue proudly said that Lao Si had put something in the food that would be served at the banquet, so they would meet outside and destroy this place. The old man said that although the Leeching ruler looks harmless, he has 8 stars. After so many years, his skills must have improved. They're no match for him. So how can they destroy everything? Gue suggested. What if the ruler can't show up today? The old men were surprised and asked. Gue told the boys not to worry. There was a way out. When the banquet was over, the medicine would take effect and they would begin the attack. The old man said that if he couldn't show up, then he could take a risk. And then he licked the bomb that was in his hands. The old man and the warriors said that the day of vengeance had come. And then they all disappeared from the room together. Li and Chung came down quietly after them. Li said that it seemed they had gone to the ruler's palace. Chung thought that if they really poisoned everyone at the banquet, then Zhong Li's sister and the others would be in danger. Chung ran and said that they needed to get out of here quickly. They had to return to the palace before the banquet began. Chung started running and immediately missed a grave in front of him, which he crashed into. Li said that it was quite unexpected that this exit led to an abandoned cemetery outside the city. But it's already getting dark. The city gates are probably closed. She's afraid it won't be easy to get inside without the ruler's knowledge. Chung asked Li, "Isn't she the commander of the Dark Strife? They won't open the gates for them?" Li said that since 5 dark spirit possessors had attacked Leeching, the ruler had ordered that no one should be allowed in at night. Otherwise, there would be severe punishment. Li told Chun that it was time for them to go. After all, they were in a hopeless situation. Chung held her hand and told her to wait. If they just walked in, they would attract attention. Chung asked Li if she had heard that when you have money, you can make even the devil turn the millstones. Chung approached the guard and began to talk to him. The guard gave them permission and told them to hurry up. Li asked Chun what he had given him that made him take the risk. Chung said it was nothing special, just 2 bottles of liquid that would help when fighting third-class spirits. Li stopped and said that the spirit-fighting liquid can heal injuries and helps with spiritual practice. It is so rare, and 2 bottles cost at least 100 gold pieces. Li asked him who he was and where he got such valuables. Chung said that he just found them. Why was she nervous, sister? Li said that she still found Chung suspicious. After she settled all the affairs in the palace, she would follow him closely. Chung suddenly saw that Li was not feeling well and caught her. He asked if she was okay. Her complexion was not healthy. Li said that it didn't matter. They needed to return to the palace as quickly as possible in order to stop the conspiracy against the ruler. Chen used his vine and immediately immobilized the beautiful Li. She asked him what he was doing. Chung carefully pulled the badge out of her pocket and took it for himself. Li told him to return her badge. Chung said that now that the enemies were hiding in the darkness, they did not know how close they had gotten to their target or whether they had managed to enter the palace. But if Li just barged in, wouldn't that just cause panic and chaos? Chung asked. Why shouldn't she sleep and let Chung do the rest? Li said with all her might that she did not agree. Let Chung quickly return her badge. Chung knocked her out with magic and said that the cold air had hurt her after all, and he didn't want to see her die. Let her leave the rest to him. When Chung arrived at the banquet gate, he said he was one of 10 participants. The guard said the banquet had already begun. No one else could enter. Chung pulled out a badge and said that he was from the Dark Guard. Let them not block his way. The guard pointed to Spirit Chun and said that one more step and he was dead. Chen asked what they meant. The guards told Chun that unless he was a guard wearing a black uniform, he could not enter without an order from the palace ruler. But then the chief guard came out and pulled his men aside. He asked Chen where he got Li's commander's badge from. Chen asked the guard if he could come closer to him to explain. The guard looked at his men and told the boy to follow him. Has the banquet started yet? Will the ruler be present? The guard said that the ruler had left with his 4th wife, and the evening banquet had not yet begun. Chung said that he would tell him everything now. Someone was planning to attack the ruler tonight. Let the guard go to the kitchen and check everything, and do not allow anyone to touch the food. The guard said that he was just the captain of the Dark Guard squad. What could he do anyway? Chung said he now has a badge, so he hopes the captain can sort this out, and he himself will go to the banquet to inform everyone. And the rest all depends on the captain himself. At this time, in the festive hall, everyone was slowly gathering, and the celebration was about to begin. Young Master Li Tian asked the advisor if his father had returned yet. The advisor said that according to the servant's report, the ruler, together with the 4th wife, had gone to the lake. Li got angry and said that there were too many defeats in the tournament, and some aristocratic families no longer trusted the ruler. Is there time to take a walk by the lake? The advisor told Li that it was already late. Wouldn't it be better for them to hold a selection test and find out the results before the ruler arrived? The young gentleman gave permission and said that they were starting. The advisor came on stage and began to say that the youth was the main support of the future Lycan. Leeching's good name is at stake in the tournament. Gentlemen, if there is any dissatisfaction, they can challenge each other. The girl, hearing this, said that a simple servant who managed to reach 7 stars, the city ruler, was truly incomprehensible. The advisor said that 10 people were chosen for the big hour, going to the martial spirit palace as a reward. But now the young master has decided to cancel this hour. People started to get upset and asked the advisor, is he joking? If it weren't for the palace of fighting spirit, no one would come here. Are they making fun of them? Lee said he would give them 3 hours instead. The rules were the same as before. If they were unhappy, they could appeal. One of the guys said his name was Bei Chun, a 3-star martial spirit, and he was challenging Luo Chun. Everyone shouted in unison for Chun to come out and fight. They wanted to fight him too. Lee asked what the Zhong clan was doing. Why were they delaying in accepting the fight? June asked her sister where Chun was. The girl said that she had stopped him from fighting Mo Chun. He must have been upset and had not come. Bei asked Chun in front of everyone if he was afraid of getting a few bruises since he wasn't accepting the fight and avoiding the brawl. But then Chun jumped into the room and said that he was a little lost. Bai said that he was the owner of the 3-star spirit and asked to come out to fight. Chung smiled and thanked his opponent for challenging him. The girl told Chun that he was a bastard. Where did he go? She thought something happened to him. She cried and said that she thought Chun would leave without saying goodbye. Chun told Zhongli not to cry. Bai attacked Chun with his fists and said that whoever treated him like air should accept death. Chung released his vine into the fight and told Bai that he was in their way. And then Bai fell to the ground with one blow. The stranger asked, who is this guy? And he is also close to the second lady of the Zhong clan. The guy asked if he was jealous. When he was in another country, didn't he say that he wasn't interested in girls? The guy said his name was Lu Feng. He was a 3-star spirit, and he was asking Chung to give him some guidance. The second guy was called Wang Wan, and he was a 3-star spirit owner, and he asked Chen to give him some advice. The girl named Sun Shintong, the owner of the 3-star spirit, let Chen give her some advice. Ching asked them what they were doing. Are they relying on numbers to intimidate people? Chung said that since they were not busy with the tournament, he wanted to tell them something. Wei came out in front of everyone and asked him, is he afraid to compete? Zhong Seed climbed to the top and found a nobody who was given one of the places. Was there really no one from Leeching? Zhong came out and said that Wei was mocking Zhong, accusing her of cheating and pointing out the Zhong family's helplessness. Wei asked, isn't that so? The Zhong family is in decline. And if it weren't for the support of the imperial family, how could it possibly claim 2 seats? One of the leaders came out and said that this child had repeatedly avoided the battle, was a coward, and in general, he was not worthy of his place at all. And he proposed to remove the Zhong clan member from the tournament. Zhong couldn't help but glare at the old man. Zhong told Zhong that it was okay. They were just a bunch of clowns. They shouldn't be angry at smug fools. The chief pounced on Chung and said that the sucker is looking for death. Today he will teach him a lesson. Zhong stood up for Chun and defended him. Using her powers, she asked him how dare he do such a thing. No one expected that Madame Zhong would stand up for her student and put the upstart leader in his place. Young Masterly said that this is outrageous. They're fighting right at the banquet like youngsters. The chief old man told young Masterly that Chun refused the challenge. Apparently, he lacked strength. He was just afraid. It's about Leeching's future, so he asked him to disqualify Chen's disciple. Li told Chief Zug, this year's tournament is to celebrate Leeching. Chen has repeatedly avoided fighting. It seems he should leave the tournament. Chun said that they were all a flock of sheep. He was not interested in this kind of competition, but he had something to say to the young master. It couldn't be put off for long. Li said that Chun is arrogant. What kind of important conversation is this? Young master withdraws his candidacy from the tournament. The Zhong clan will be punished for inefficiency. Zhong said that the young master is humiliating the Zhong family. Isn't that too high-handed? Li said that this Chin didn't get along with anyone and looked down on everyone. What's wrong with the young master depriving him of the opportunity to participate in the tournament? Li asked Madame Zhong if she really wanted this man to be defeated in the mansion. Li said that this was the mansion of the city's ruler, since she didn't say what kind of family this guy was from or where he was from. Then he had the right to finish him off. And then the prince came out into battle and asked Li, why was he mocking her? Whether they wanted to believe it or not, the ruler's mansion would disappear without a trace. The guy saw what a prince meant, took advantage of the young master's favor, and was unable to control himself. Li said to call the dark guards here. The Zhong clan has committed a crime that requires all 3 of them to be punished. The guards immediately came running all together and surrounded the boys from all sides so that they could not escape punishment. Lee told her sister the prince couldn't help himself and used his cold powers because he was emitting magic of anger towards them all. One unusual ice ability. Who is this person? Dares to talk to Leeching. The guy said that if he was not mistaken, this guy was from the Liu clan. Why said that this was the heir of the Liu family, repeatedly refusing to ally with other clans, which angered the elder. The guy said that he was only planning to accompany Vi on this journey, but he never expected to see this. People said that the Liu and Gu clans were among the 3 major families in the imperial city. Liu asked, death penalty? And Leeching's young master knows how to throw words. But then the guard pounced on them. But Liu told him to take his dirty hands off. Liu said, if Li is so eager for death, then go ahead and try to preserve their corpses without severe external damage. Zhong asked Liu why he was provoking the city governor, since it was a crime punishable by death. Liu said that he would never allow anyone to intimidate her, even if those people were from the palace. Li asked Liu how he dared to show such disrespect to the young master. Was he looking for death or something? Wai started clapping and said that he was truly worthy of being called the heir of the Liu clan, so bold and powerful. Li asked the advisor, Liu is here with the Zhong family, right? Liu asked, what does the boy from the Gu clan think? People started asking, Gu clan from the imperial city? 2 of the 3 major families are here. Why are people from the clan here? Liu said that although the empire exists, it only owns 10,000 Li, and the rest is under the control of clans. All martial spirit masters dream of joining the clan, but they only take the most talented, in other words, geniuses. This is the case with the boy from the Gu clan. The boy told brother Liu that this was his mentor Mu Xie, who had joined the Lan clan. Mu said that he had reached 5 stars at a fairly young age, and the guys were very interested in him. Would they like to sing with him to the Lan clan? Liu stood in front of him and said that he would kill even a clan follower. Mu told brother Liu not to be so vicious. If the Liu clan wants to take in followers, they should think a little about the tiny lichen. By the way, such a beautiful and modest lady would be a great match. The boy told Mrs. Zhong's younger sister that his name was Gulong. How dare he even think about his fiancée? Gu asked, fiancé, and this guy is her fiancé? Chainam said he didn't care if he believed it or not, but he wanted to be beaten to death? Gu said he couldn't do it. Let the guy repeat it again, and immediately pounced on him. Gu did not move from his place, and immediately put his powers into practice, grabbing the guy with his big hand. Chung didn't expect such strength, and immediately fell to his knees through his strength. Gu said that he had lost. Everyone was surprised by this event. They didn't expect Gu to be so strong in this regard. Then the boy servant came running and asked Gu what he had done to Chung. Liu said that his Dao heart had been suppressed by the enemy's will. Liu said that the martial art of will is penetrating the heart of the Dao. To do this, you need to reach at least 7 stars in order to use this technique. The master develops. But if his Dao heart has been destroyed by the martial art of will, then the person will never be able to improve himself again. And saw Gu as a young man who already possessed 7 stars. A 4-star martial spirit master was like an ant compared to him. Chung said that Gu had shattered Mo Cheng's heart into pieces, rendering him completely useless. Isn't that too cruel? Gu said that he liked the man, so no one should interfere, and no one has the power to defeat him. Chung said that it turns out that Gu likes someone else's bride, but he doesn't think that she thinks as highly of him. Gu asked Chun what he said. Chun said that Zhong Li's sister. Gu got angry and told Chun to let her go. He liked this woman. Chun asked, who is good to her anyway? Chun asked Zhong Li if she knew this weirdo. Li immediately, without thinking, confidently said no. Gu lost his temper and used force to attack Chun, and in the end, called him impudent. Liu did not like this, and stepped in before the attack and told him to stop. Liu told Gu that Chung was his friend, and he advised him not to act willfully in front of him. Gu said that Liu had a terrifying ice-cold will. Gu flew back and Vi caught him. He asked Gu if he was okay. Gu said that it seemed like this guy was stronger than him and also had an icy will. Wai told Gu to forget it. Let him not stoop to their level. It was time to leave. Li asked Chun, is he okay? Chun said everything was fine. Chung knew that if it weren't for Liu, he might have ended up like Mo Chung. But then a guard ran in and told the young master that the commander had rebelled against them and surrounded the palace of fighting spirit. They had suffered great losses. Li was surprised and asked him where the dark guard of the palace was. The guard said that the guard assigned to the Palace of Martial Spirit had been transferred by Li's commander in advance, and his current whereabouts were unknown. Did they collude with the owners of dark spirits? The guard immediately answered. Li said that Chung knew that the commander wanted to attack, but why didn't he tell him about it earlier? Chun said that when he wanted to enter, his way was blocked. He tried to speak twice, but he was interrupted each time. Did they give him a chance to report? Li said that Chung is so stubborn. He thinks that the guy is in cahoots with the Dark Spirit Lord to kill him. And then the old man immediately attacked and said that he was asking for their forgiveness. Lu noticed this and immediately repelled his attack. Lu told the old geezer that he obviously already knew what consequences awaited him for insulting the heir of a great family. The old man said that this was the young master's order. The old slave couldn't even beg for forgiveness from the heir of the Lu family. Chung immediately saw that the old man's power of coercion. Could this really be the real power of a person who possessed 7 stars? Chung didn't lose his head and immediately used his vine to attack, which he aimed straight at the old man. The old man was surprised by this outcome and asked, "A 5-star spirit? It can't be. After all, he only has 3 stars. But such a strange fighting spirit." Li shouted that elder who was wrapped in vines. Could he counterattack? But then light began to emerge from the cocoon of the liana. The old man was trying to get out of these leaves. Chung understood that this would happen, because with his strength, the old man could not be restrained. And then the old man successfully emerged from the liana cocoon. Chung saw that things were bad. There was a huge gap between them. He couldn't defeat this old man. Lu didn't stand aside and saw that his friend was going to lose. He decided to lay down and immobilize the old man's legs, turning them into ice. Lu asked the old man, does he think the guy is there for show? And immediately used his attack. The old man saw that it was will control and couldn't resist it. He shouted that elder who had been defeated in 1 blow. He has 8. Yes, he definitely has 8 stars. Old man who fell to his knees and survived. Lu said that the old man would continue to fight with the heir who had such skills. Chung smiled and saw that his friend was very strong and was very happy about it. Lu asked, are they still eager to execute him? Li said that it was just a misunderstanding, a stupid mistake. He begged the heir for mercy. The guard immediately ran in and told the young master to defeat the Dark Guard troops. They were no longer able to hold back the advance. Li told them to hurry and report everything to the ruler. The old man immediately said that everything would be done. Li asked Mr. Chun if he knew the location of the opponents. Chun immediately looked at him angrily. Li told Chun that they had been rude before, and once they arrived at the crime scene and captured the enemies, he would be able to take action himself. Zhong told Chun that the situation was serious, so he shouldn't be angry. Chun said that they were possessors of dark spirits. They had entered the palace to distract the ruler and then carry out their revenge. Li was intimidated and asked, dark spirits? The old man said that he thought it was just a massacre in the palace, but to his surprise, it was dark spirits. Li told the boys that the ruler's palace had fallen. He was asking for their help. Zhong said that everyone needed their answer. Lu said that he was waiting for the orders of the head of the Zhong family. If the leader did not dare, then he would not dare to act. But if she wanted to run away, he could not leave his fiancée. Zhong told Lu not to say anything stupid. Li saw that the Lu family's position was obvious. He was afraid that after this, no one would dare to say anything about the Zhong clan. Li saw that her elder sister was touched. It seemed that she should take back what she said about her son-in-law. Chung asked Li if she was jealous. Li said that how could one be jealous of one's sister's happiness? Zhong told Li that their skills were not enough. It could lead to injuries. She and Chen should find a place to sit out. Li told her sister that she wanted to go with her. Chung grabbed her hand and said that they really couldn't help them. Lu took Zhong's hand and told everyone that they needed to discuss how they would all proceed. Li followed Chen and asked him where they were going, and what would they do if something happened to their sister. Chung told Li not to worry. There were many strong people in the ruler's palace tonight, and the heir of one of the 4 major clans had 7 stars. And Sister Xian is incredibly talented, and she's not next to Lu Shun, so everything is fine. Besides, everyone is taking precautions, so nothing will happen. Li said that maybe he was right. Chung told her not to worry, to trust Sister Xian. Chun told Li that no matter what happened, he would protect her. He would not let anyone capture her. Something indescribable was happening in the palace. Everyone was fighting for the palace, united into one team. What kind of evil spirits are these? There is no end to the enemies, no matter how many you kill. The old man said, "How dare they do such things in front of him?" But then Zhong saw that the old man was about to receive an attack from behind and decided to help him by repelling it. The old man thanked Mrs. Zhong for saving him. Zhong was very angry and destroyed everything in her path. Zhong heard something and asked what that sound was. The guards suddenly started turning into zombies, as if someone was controlling them. Lu turned back and saw Zhong being attacked and shouted at her to dodge. Zhong was surprised by this and asked what kind of magic was this. At this time, Chung and Li also heard the sound of the flute. Chung said it was a corpse and immediately told Li to crawl under the bed. They both went under the bed and told Li to hold her breath. And then at that moment, a guard who had been recruited by magic burst into the room. The guard began to look around the room and look in every corner. But finding nothing, he left. The boys came out from under the bed, and Li asked Chun what it was. Chun said it was a corpse that was being controlled. He had seen this before in the tomb. Sister Raodong said that the sound of the flute hypnotized the corpses with the power of the dark spirit. Li asked Chun when he had time to get another sister. Zhong blushed and asked Li if she was jealous. Chung said that he remembered that the more dead there were, the stronger the dark spirit owner using the control technique. But then he froze and said that it was strange. The noise had disappeared. He should go and check, and let Li stay here and not go anywhere. Li told Chun that it was too dangerous. They should go together. Chun thought about it and said, right, she might get attacked here. Coming out into the hall, they saw a pile of blood and soldiers who were scattered on every corner. They shed a tear and asked, "How is this possible?" Chung began to look at all the boys and shout their names, but no one responded. Li began to look around and asked where her sister was. But then a hand came out of the corpse and moved. Chung asked who was there. A girl came out from under the corpse and asked the guys to help her. The girl somehow got out from under the corpse and told the guys to help her. Chung told Li that they needed to help her. The girl lost consciousness and Chung managed to catch her. He was telling her to wake up. What happened? And where are the other people? The girl came to her senses a little and, pushing Chun aside, told him not to kill her. She hid herself in fear and kept telling him not to kill her. Li asked, what happened here anyway? Where is Zhong Xian's sister? The girl said that everyone was dead. Zheng Tao, Wei Mo, they were all dead. And hearing this, Li was dumbfounded and almost fainted. Chung told her to calm down. Xian's body is not here, and Lu is very strong. First, Chung said they need to leave this place and then sort everything out and find out what exactly happened here. Li and Chen ran to Elder Wei and asked him if his sister had returned. Wei said that the lady had not come. Weren't they going to a banquet? Li heard this and just collapsed on the chair in excitement. Elder Wei asked what happened. Chung said that there was an attack on the ruler's palace last night. The heads of families and rising talents were killed. Wei told Chung that he drank too much and was now talking nonsense, right? Chung said that couldn't be. What time was it? Wei said it was about half an hour ago. Chung thought and said that it was very strange. Zhong Li's sister was too calm. After all, it would be necessary to return to the palace again. Chung then immediately went to the palace, and in front of the gate, he saw the guards who were lined up in a crotch. Chung thought that after such an incident, Leeching should have been devoured by chaos, but there were still a lot of guards in the palace. This is all abnormal. One of the guys said that we need to see it soon. The participants of the tournament have been chosen. People said that Leeching's top 10 have been determined, and the guy hoped that this time they would bring at least some results. Chung saw the table and said that there were still 10 members on the list. Why were his and Zhong Li's sister's names still there? But then someone passed by Chung, and Chung recognized a very familiar figure for him, and immediately ran after her. Chung came to the scene and saw what he had missed. And then someone from behind asked Chung what he was up to. Chun turned around and saw Sister Raotong. He told her that it was Chun. Li asked him how he could prove that he was real. Chung smiled and said that they had survived the disaster in the tunnel together. Li grabbed his face and said that the guy felt pain, so he must be real. Chung asked her how she got there. Li said that when she woke up, she hurried to the palace, but found no one alive there. Then she accidentally bumped into the dark guard, hit him lightly, but he continued to lie motionless. Upon examination, she found out that he was dead. And when she opened his shirt, she saw that there were some dark threads in his body. She walked around the palace, but with the exception of a few rebels, most of the people were just puppets. Chung said that last night's banquet in the palace turned into a bloodbath. Countless people from different clans died, but everyone was calm and acted as if nothing happened. Some others saw the massacre with their own eyes, but they don't give it away. So it seems the palace is under control. Lee said that after all the effort they had put in, it could be concluded that the spirit palace was not their goal. Chung said that although the dark spirit possessors are strong, but yesterday, many powerful people were gathered in one place. And then he had a suggestion. Perhaps someone was secretly watching everything that was happening in order to deliver a fatal blow at the most opportune moment. Lee said that if that's the case, then they're in danger. In the list of 10 participants, only they and the second lady of the Zhong clan are real. 8 people will gather together, and they must join them to get into the spirit palace. Everything will be according to the old rules. Chung said that Zhuo Long was missing from the list of participants. The people who were present in the palace yesterday were either killed or missing. The only ones who were definitely alive were him and Sister Zhong. We said that these 8 people are probably the people who are being manipulated. They know that she and Zhongli's sister are alive, and they're going to be killed during the tournament. Li said that they definitely couldn't go into the palace. They had better hurry up and leave. She still had a lot of questions that needed answers. Why doesn't she go back with him to Zhong Manor? Chung said that it was dangerous inside the ruler's palace. If she went with him, he and Sister June would help her. Besides, she was not the only one she was worried about. They immediately headed to the Zhong estate. The girl saw Chun and said that he was back. How are things outside? Chung told Zhongli's sister to let him introduce Ruotong. Not only is she extremely beautiful, but she also has a 5-star spirit. The girl greeted and said her name was Zhongli. Ruotong said that she was greeting the second lady of the Zhong clan. Ruotong asked what the sound was. Li said it sounded like someone was knocking. Then Elder Wei came in and told the second lady that he had come with a message from the ruler. The martial spirit palace was open. 10 participants could enter. Li took the paper and immediately looked at the boys. Ruotong said that she did not advise going to the palace. Chung said that now that the ruler's palace is under control, if they want to kill them, it is useless to hide in the Zhong estate. And he is interested in visiting the spirit palace, and later he will go there, but Sister Zhong will stay here. Li immediately became indignant. Chung told Li that he knew that she was very worried about Sister Xian. But she also had to understand that the palace was extremely dangerous. She and Sister Ruotong will stay here and take care of each other. That way he will feel more at ease. Ruotong said that it might not be as dangerous as they thought, but they still needed to remain vigilant. Chung arrived at the palace and thought he was told it was an invitation, but they sent an old man to him. There aren't many people in the ruler's palace. However, this old man seemed unaffected by hypnosis. Chung told the master that he felt that something was happening to the ruler's palace recently. It was better not to stay here for a long time for safety reasons. The old man told Chun that if he wanted to survive after entering, he should follow what the old man was about to teach him. Ask and talk less. The old man, after these words, began to hit the wall and try to pass through it. Chung realized that it was some kind of mechanism. The old man came to his senses and told Chun that it was time for them to go. Arriving at the palace, the guard asked him why he was alone. The old man said that only one had arrived. Chung said that the second mistress of the Zhong clan had fallen ill, so she could not attend. The chief guard told the old man that this matter was none of his business, so let him leave here. And immediately upon entering the palace, he saw all the boys lined up. Chung thought, weren't all the dead? Several people in white clothes came out and stood in front of them. The guard said that the youth should greet the sages and lords. The guys said they're acting as victims this time. That's pretty cool, of course. The guard bowed and said that Mr. Sheng was as insightful as ever. Sheng said that this one in particular, although dead, would leave her mark on the sea of knowledge. The collection would be greatly enriched. Shun stroked the girl's face and put a mark and said that he was taking it. And then the girl entered his clothes. Chun saw that he could make her disappear with a flick of his wrist. This is what a god-level technique looks like. They are not ordinary people. Are they clan followers? The guard said that she was sent to the holy sage. Chung thought, Haven't dark spirits invaded here? Chung remembered the old man's words about what he shouldn't do and what he should avoid. The guard asked the boys why they were hesitating. Let them follow him to the palace of the fighting spirit. Here they all arrived at the palace of the martial spirit. Chung saw that the owner of the dark spirit was Guiji. Maybe the ruler was under hypnosis. The guard told the ruler that the subordinates were here. The ruler told them to understand. The guard immediately ordered them to get up. The guards immediately began to lift the beams. Chung saw that Gui looked scared. Was the plot exposed? And then the guards brought a large cauldron in front of the boys and placed it right in the center of the kingdom. The ruler ordered the guards to bring them in. The guards took the people who were chained and brought them to the cauldron. Shin saw that it was a devilish old man and a big-headed one. It was definitely them. The ruler said that they were attacked by the possessors of the 5 dark spirits. Fourth lady, what should we do with them? He asked. The fourth lady said, let the ruler decide. The ruler said that this time, due to the attack on the palace by the possessors of the 5 dark spirits, Leeching suffered irreparable losses. He personally beheaded one of the criminals. Today, he captured the 3rd and 5th. The fourth lady told the ruler that they had already been sentenced to death. So wouldn't it be better to save their lives and use them for his own needs? The ruler grabbed her head and said that he was not interested in her opinion on this matter. The plan was that she would use the power of the thousand-faced, the 4th, and take him to the riverbank, and the remaining 3 would take advantage of the opportunity and attack the palace. If this place wasn't protected, I'm afraid Leeching might already be under the control of another ruler. Consider that he only let her live so that she could repent. The ruler asked Commander Sean, does he refuse? He can't stand killing his comrades, especially his loyal friends. In fact, he had known about this trinity for a long time, but he still did not know where the thousand-faced one was hiding. The ruler said that he did not expect Sean to be right under his nose. He was worthy of his nickname, a real master. Sean immediately attacked the ruler and said that he would kill him. The ruler saw this attack and dodged it. He did not wait and immediately attacked in return. Sean was shocked and fell right into the cauldron. And then he turned into a guy and asked, is this really the ship everyone is talking about? The guy told Li Tianlong that he had sorted out the problems in the palace. So would he tell him about the secret kingdom? The ruler said that there are 3 keys to it. He has only one. They have one too. If you forcefully enter there, many people are doomed to perish. The guy immediately attacked the ruler and said that he was talking too much. And he said that their patience was not limitless. If the secret kingdom was not open tomorrow, he knew what the consequences would be. The ruler said they were a bunch of crazy people. Gui asked him what she said. The ruler told her not to worry. She was just a little tired. The ruler told the guards to send the lady to rest and not to allow her to go outside without his permission. Chung thought that the ruler already knew that the 4th lady, Guiji. So many people died. Could it be that the 5 dark spirit possessors were to blame for all this? The ruler said it was good that someone could remain calm while contemplating such a cruel punishment. Chun bowed and said that he thanked the ruler for the praise. The ruler told Chun that he was very smart. It seems that the fact that he survived yesterday's riots is not just a coincidence. Chang said that he did not understand what the ruler meant. Aren't all the people who were present yesterday here? The ruler told Chun that if he continued to talk nonsense like the girl from the Zhou clan did, the Zhong family would expect the same thing as her. Was the Zhou clan slaughtered? The ruler said that he was announcing the opening of the Palace of Martial Spirit. And today, the dead of Leichin can enter the palace, but the living must remain outside for some time. The ruler said to Chun, he knows that there are no living among them, right? But he also noticed that if the clan interferes, some things get out of control. Chung told the ruler that he wanted to know if the people who disappeared without a trace that night. The ruler said that the dead had appeared, and those who had disappeared were perhaps hiding somewhere. And only those who were in the top 10 of the tournament were ever allowed into the Martial Spirit Palace. Chung thought that they were already dead, so why would they even go there? The ruler told Chun that he could go, but he should remember that he had an hour. And Chun immediately went to the stairs. Chung arrived at the books and saw that he didn't expect that there were both martial arts and technique books with illustrations. Illustrated book of Fighting Spirit, which gives attributes and weaknesses of fighting spirit. Every fighter dreams of the skill to fight spirits. Although the owner of the spirit has a couple of basic techniques, The whole point is in long-term self-improvement. No matter how talented he is or how strong his will is, he can remain at the same level until the end of his days. That's why all warriors hope to learn special techniques that suit their class and attribute to fight spirits. But there are millions of different techniques in the world. It's quite difficult to get the right one, and that's why all warriors hope to learn special techniques that suit their class and attribute to fight spirits. But there are millions of different techniques in the world. It's quite difficult to get the right one. Chung realized that he had studied a lot, but had found nothing for himself, and time was limited. Instead of looking for an illustrated book with his spirit, it's better to choose a spirit fighting technique that matches his attribute. I think this is a more suitable option. Then a book fell from the shelf onto Chun and hit him right in the head. Chun opened it and saw the mid-level spirit technique of parasitism. Chun thought about it, and it seemed to him that this technique of fighting spirits has the attribute of wood. Both are plants, so there shouldn't be any problems. Something started to happen to Chun, and the absorption of his soul power left him. But Chun didn't understand what was happening to him. And then the technique of the spirit of parasitism opened before him. Rank medium. Learning this skill in the future can help in forming a seed of power. And you can use this technique on another person and draw on their energy. It is also possible that the parasite will consume a small amount of life force for feedback. Chung felt sick and immediately grabbed his head. After all, such a force had swallowed him up completely. Chin realized that it was also possible that the parasite would consume a small amount of life force for feedback. And with his current level, he is already very familiar with the techniques for fighting against mid-rank spirits. And now he has a pretty useful thing. Feed yourself, then absorb the fighting spirit after using the poison attribute. It suits him perfectly. Chung said that the spirit palace had only been open for an hour, and he had spent almost all of his spirit power to learn a mid-rank spirit fighting technique. Chung began to look around and said that there were no other skills that suited him here. Chung said that there should be higher level techniques here, but unfortunately his strength is not enough. He needs to improve and develop to become a master of his craft. Couldn't he just steal a few scrolls, sell them, and earn thousands of gold? Chung told himself to forget about it. There was no need to be greedy. He would learn the mid-rank technique. But who knows if there are guards here? And the ruler is not very kind. Now that most of Leeching's talents have fallen and there is no confrontation between the cities, what exactly is Tian Yulong doing? After leaving the room, the ruler said that he had achieved quite a good result. Chung said that he had achieved success, but these people think it is too cruel. Chung said that it was nothing like that. He just thought that the 5 dark spirits had earned their fame. The ruler said that they were insignificant dark spirit possessors. How did Ching know so much about spirit possessors? Chung said that there are 9 spirit stars in total. They are arranged in order of increasing strength. The ruler said that if the spirit palace was so simple, the clan would never surpass the empire. This so-called 9 stars is a well-known limit. But when someone reaches the 9th star, he has the opportunity to become a spirit king. Ching knew that he had been thinking for a long time about whether there was something that a 9-star possessor was aiming for. But he hadn't expected this at all. The ruler said that the young men in gray robes that he could see earlier belonged to the Tomb group, all of them possessing 9 stars. True geniuses. However, even these people do not dare to oppose the reigning house. But in the clan, a person who managed to achieve the rank of a king can hardly be called truly spiritual. 23 years ago, a tomb was discovered outside of Lee City, and it was said that its owner was a great man who had gone beyond the rank of a spirit king. Later generations discovered that the tomb contained a secret kingdom, which was rumored to have been visited by someone beyond the rank of the spirit king. The ruler said that it was precisely the 8 saints in the tomb who were sent to the secret realm. It is said that the 3 great families from the imperial city also sent people there. Chung said that in that case, Lu's heir was destined to come here from birth. The ruler said, and Chung thought that he came only for the sake of having fun with a girl. The ruler said that the secret realm was a unique opportunity for the families of the imperial city to enter the world of the spirit king and the first family. It will crush the remaining 2 with its power. A sacrifice is still required to enter the tomb. The sovereign cannot resist the imperial descendants. But even if the ruler voluntarily gives permission to the successors to do this, he will still experience despair. Ruler, It just so happened that the owners of dark spirits wanted to secretly attack the ruler's palace. And even though they turn out to be weak, they still upset the sovereign. Ching thought it was obvious that this was all a setup to kill some people. But the incident had become too big. The ruler said that he was very lucky because he had gained a lot thanks to the Palace of Fighting Spirit. But now he wanted to ask for something. Ching asked how else to ask. The ruler said that this is one of the 3 keys to the secret kingdom. After the kingdom opens, this thing will be very useful. And he wants him to be the one to go to the secret kingdom with the 8 people from the tomb tomorrow. Chung said that he was just an ordinary 3-star. How could he take on such responsibility? The ruler said that he knew his fighting spirit was special. Maybe this would be a great opportunity to test his abilities. Chung set out with the elders that same day. One of them said that they were there, and it was time to begin. They immediately opened their powers to the outside and released magic, which they directed towards the gate. The guy told Chen to give them the key. Chen pulled out a key from his pocket, and a triangle appeared in front of his eyes, which opened the gate. The elders, having reached the 2nd stage, said that it was time to begin the bloody ritual. After the ritual, the doors began to slowly open in front of them. Chung now understood what this hidden world was like. Chung and the elders walked inside and found themselves in an empty room. But before them appeared a huge statue that was painted with emblems. One of the elders said, "Didn't they say that the hidden world is full of mysteries? There is nothing here except a stone monument. How could there be treasure hidden here?" The boy approached the monument and asked if this monument was made of black stone. Iron from such stone is one of the most important materials in the creation of the king's weapons. And this monument is capable of producing about 1,000 pounds of black rock iron. The girls said that if they take it with them, their trip will be worth it. The guy took off his robe and said he would do it. And then he used his powers on the stone. Chin said that this iron weighs about 2,000 pounds. The girls said that the strength of one hand is more than 1,000 pounds. So with the strength of both hands, it is not a problem. The guy used magic on the monument and ordered it to rise. The magic dissipated throughout the room. But then something started to happen. And the girl asked, "What's going on?" But then a stranger appeared and said that he didn't expect that this generation of candidates for the post of Holy Sun would be a bunch of fools. The stranger said that the ancient tomb sect was still the best among the 9th grade sections. They knew that the elder of their sect had died, greedily chasing after the black stone monument, which is why he turned into a spirit. The guy said that he did not expect that Mr. Gu from the Arshi clan would be here. Gu said that he advises to leave quickly, or he wants to take this place for himself. The guy asked, does the Arshi clan want to take it? They had discovered this hidden world, and he was just a thief taking advantage of the opportunity to sneak in. Gu said that it was impossible to open the hidden world with just the key in the hands of the tomb sect. Not only is he alive, but he has also joined this sect. The Arsha sect and the tomb set have never gotten along. Don't blame him for being defeated first. Chun got angry and immediately attacked the guy. Gu said that these were childish tricks and immediately pulled out his sword, cutting the vines into small pieces. But then the elders began to protest. The chief stopped them and told them not to worry. They would use him to find out the truth about the other side. Chun was also very angry and asked, how dare he use him as a thing? What a bunch of heartless bastards. Chung tried to release his vines again, right at Gu, who was trying to attack him. Gu immediately used defense and immediately used his step. Chung immediately fell to his feet. Chung felt the pressure on the martial artist's will. Gu raised the sword above his head and told him to die. But then an arrow of ice appeared out of nowhere and headed straight for Gu. But the guy noticed it and dodged the attack. And then Lu and Zhong appeared in front of the gate. Lu told Gu that he hoped this was the last time he was warned. If he attacks his friends again, he will not spare him anymore. Chun was happy to see them. Chun asked where she was. He was worried to death. Lu said she was with him. No need to worry. It's hard to have a personal life, and Chun still wants to interfere with it. Zhong said, stop joking. If Chung is okay, then we need to get out of here right now. Lu asked Zhong if he wanted to find the last head of the Jun family here. The girl said, in the hidden world, there is nothing but a stone monument. The old man cannot be here. Jun asked Lu if she didn't want to leave. Jun said that their situation was not good. He and she could fight, but if Chung got hurt, Junli would be sad. They can't take any risks. They better get out of here. Lu said he can protect them. Zhong said that the two clans have gathered. They are in confusion, and he wants to play with their lives. Zhong asked him, is he seriously reluctant to leave? Gu said, of course, he won't leave until he completes his family's assignment. Gu said that Zhong is a stupid woman. Does she really think that he loves him more than anyone? He's just playing with her to cover his tracks. Was this really a family assignment? A cover? Lu said it wasn't. He was talking nonsense. She believed him, didn't she? Zhong asked him what then. He said that he left the Lu family and came to Li City to be with her, and when not to leave her. Zhong was offended and told Chen that it was time for them to leave. But Chen stood there, not knowing what to do. The ground began to crack, and the guys immediately all attacked Gu. The guy couldn't react. Gu kept saying that he was only one step away from understanding the laws of heaven and earth and moving on to the next level. Chen realized that he would not be able to react, and Lu managed to grab Chen and move him aside. Gu also didn't know that Lu would manage to save the boy and repel his attack. Gu told Lu that he was always against him because he wanted to die for this child. Gu touched the stone and said that the spirit of the black stone tablet was scattered. If he destroyed the tablet now, the secret kingdom would collapse and they would all die here. From such a great force, the earth began to crack. But Zhong fell right under it. Lu saw that she couldn't get away and bent down to save her. And then he threw her to the other side of the rock. Golden spiritual chi can only be produced by the death of a highly skilled royal family member. But he didn't expect to find a royal tomb hidden under a secret realm. Gu grabbed Chun by the throat and said that there were rumors that the chi of the golden spirit was so strong that even the slightest touch of it would shatter their bones. Gu didn't bother with him and threw him into the abyss. Lu jumped out to help and told Gu to die. Chung, falling into the abyss, thought, where is he? But then from his soul, everything began to change, and he turned into a monster. But that was not all. His soul began to change, and a huge force was drawn out. Chen opened his eyes and saw emptiness. He wondered what this place was, but then a silhouette appeared in front of him and said his spirit is the spirit that awakened in his body, the all-consuming fighting spirit. Ching asked him who he was. The voice said that he didn't need to know the name. Since he didn't answer him, he would look for himself. The voice said that these were indeed devourers. He never thought he would have the chance to see devouring again. Ching asked him who the hell he was, and what kind of place was this. The voice said that usually people who disturbed his peace died without a body. But since he participated, the all-consuming fighting spirit will allow him to live. Chung told Senpai to wait. Chung said that they were threatened by an evil man, and they came to him. This evil man is very strong. He wants to destroy the secret kingdom. They can't stop him. Senpai gave Chin strength and said that a mere 9-star spirit fighter had nothing to worry about. And now he will give them the legacy of Taoism so that they can reach the realm of the Spirit King in one leap. Senpai said that this was a way to compensate for the goodwill of old friends and sent him back to battle. Lu missed the chance and got attacked. Zhong saw it and ran to look at it. Gu told Lu to stay here and wait for his death. Then Chung came out through the gap and told him to stop. Gu said that he never thought that he would not die in the golden chi. Chung said that he couldn't die until he got rid of it. And then he attacked with a golden vine. Gu had never seen such a force and could not resist it. Gu asked him how he broke into the kingdom of the Spirit King so quickly. Chung said that this is just confusion. This is definitely a martial will. Gu said that he is also half a step away from entering the Spirit King realm. Who knows who will die? Chung didn't leave him alone and immediately attacked. Gu turned around and saw the guy and said, so fast. Chung immediately took advantage of this moment and hit him on the back, so that even Ji's mouth started bleeding. Chung said that they would never be able to surpass this half-step. Gu pounced on him again and said that it was impossible. Chung used his vine to pierce his body while attacking, which Gu never expected him to be able to react so quickly. Lu came to his senses a little and asked Chun if he was okay. Chun said that everything was fine and immediately grabbed his head. Senpai appeared before them and said that a new tableting formation, this is the land of the dead. From now on, let them not disturb this place.